The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
You're in here so often, so much, so long, going over these details, trying to figure it all out, and you just, if it looks good, you want to know, because you want to keep doing it over and over. You want to keep doing that same, not be a light switch. You want to do that same thing over and over and over if it's good. And so that little bit of, that was a good rep, that this and that, whether it's, a pass and you're getting through your reads or you're taking the first read, good ball placement, you just want to keep doing that same thing over and over again. And, obviously if it's bad, you want to hear that too.
He is so much more comfortable right now, just in terms of moving around. We go from gun to under to the tight ends are moving, the receivers are moving. We're adding a few more every single day. And so I think his process, and I told him this on the player day off, his process is really clean right now. I'm talking about how he's preparing. I'm really pleased with it. He's doing the work behind the scenes that no one else is seeing, and we're starting to see the dividends being paid from it.
There's a Chicago Bears podcast. Unlike most others, three guys on the broadcast are a lot like brothers. This is bare their souls, uncensored and no controls. This is bare their souls, with three likable a-holes.
You remember when Steve Young finally won the Super Bowl, famous NFL clip, he's on the sideline, he's like, take the monkey off of my back, take the monkey off of my back. And kind of felt what we had with Green Bay for 30 years. Even when we did beat them, it just felt like it was an aberration. And now it feels like it's an even playing field again.
Bear their souls.
Get ready now for Zim, the Chooch, and the Podfather Eldo Gandia.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Bear Their Souls with Zim and the Tooch. What's happening, fellas?
That was killer, man. Those Bears, man, they play some mean guitar.
No shit.
Yeah. It's like Reservoir Dogs at the end walking. Yeah, man, that was great.
I will have a version soon where the Bears will actually be playing and talking and stuff. So working on that, but I wanted to get the concept out there right away. I really dug that song. Yeah. It's the guys over at BCP that told us about that Sono Productions, and so they come up with this AI stuff. You got to feed it the information to get the right tone, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. What? It's Sono, S-O-N-O?
Yeah, I'll send you the login. I've been thinking about sending you the login because I know you and Zim can do some outstanding things on that. So
Suno, S-U-N-O.
Oh, Suno. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, Suno.
It's really cool, but it's definitely AI. It works very well if you write a good song and tell it rather than having it write a song for you. You know what I mean? Because you can plug in a blank slate and it'll just go with it. But if you like write some lyrics and really like, you know, my buddy was in town last week. He and I used to make music together. So we took some lyrics that we had lying around. We plugged it into Suno, and it really helped us get like an idea for some music that we'd been working on for a long time to like really start fleshing it out and start turning it, you know, and that's what it's for. It's to be a tool, not to do your job for you, but to help you get these creative juices flowing and to help you give vision to something that you might not be able to. Like for myself, I don't have the same ability to record that I once did. So to be able to kind of get that fleshed out in a different way, it's really fun, and it blew his mind, man. When I started showing it to him, he's like, this is exactly what I was thinking we could do with the chorus. And it like took the lyrics, and because I structured it right, like it took it and it did something with it. So it's super, super fun, man.
Can you feed it like tracks too, like musical tracks?
Yes. Yep. Yes. I haven't played around with that as much as I would like to. But I have uploaded at least one song that I wrote with, you know, no vocals or anything on it, instead of add some vocals, and it does okay. It's still not a perfect tool, but it's growing and changing and evolving every day. There's some really cool things where, you know, like on our show, you know, we like to have our music, but then we like to bring in snippets as well. There's a built-in tool where you can just build snippets out of the stuff that you create with it. It's super, super fun. I've been playing with it for weeks, trying to just like learn it inside and out, really push its limits and see what we can do with it. And you'll start hearing the fruits of that labor over the next few weeks, while I will be off the air vocally. Creatively, I hope to still be joining you guys.
Outstanding. Let me digress just for a moment, because Tito Reyes is in the chat room. This guy is a childhood friend. We grew up together. He actually saw me play goaltender, and then after the game, we sat down and talked, and I said, hey, how did I look at goaltender? And Tito said to me, you want the honest truth? You're a little slow. Yeah, but I almost pitched a shutout, dude. But Tito is an outstanding old-time friend. Thanks for hanging out in the chat with us, Tito. We really appreciate it.
Bears fan, Tito?
Oh, big Bears fan, Cubs fan, all sports. He played sports. One of our better athletes, because we played growing up. We played all the sports. Tackle football without equipment at Humboldt Park. Softball, 12-inch softball at Humboldt Park. Basketball over at Moose School. And what else is left? Hockey. We used to go to Rainbow. Dude, you remember Rainbow?
Rainbow.
It was on Clark Avenue. And it turned later into, afterwards was a roller skating place right by the Norwich Theater. And it was
was it a theater too?
No, it was just for skating purposes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. No.
Yeah, it was very popular back in the day, late 60s into the early 70s. And we used to rent the ice, and the cheapest time was at 3 a.m. in the morning. So we're out there, a bunch of Puerto Ricans. We showed them all fucked up playing hockey. Yeah, that was pretty outstanding stuff. But yeah, there's Tito, absolutely a Bears fan. He says, absolutely. Tito, we'll have to have you on the show soon. You can share your opinions. Yeah, PZ is right. Rainbow was originally the kinetic playground. That is true. Now we're talking, this is minus 40 years to Zimmerman's birth date. I mean, we're talking early 60s, I think, the kinetic playground, indeed. But yeah, Tito, man, it's so good to see you on here, brother. And look at your lady, man. See, I'm always going to compliment a man on his wife, but I won't touch her, I promise. Zim, how you doing, brother?
Oh man, it's been a week. I've gotten my ass kicked up and down at work all week long. I am ready to be here and talk some Bears.
Love it. And Tooch, how's been your week?
Well, it's been interesting. Last week I lost my voice. I had I think my allergies or a summer cold or something. I wouldn't have been able to do the show. It would have been ridiculous because I would have been coughing and my voice was gone.
Yeah.
So sorry to let you guys down and miss the show last week, but
you made the right call. It's best, if you're sick, best to take some time off and take care of yourself.
Yeah. And then Monday I had cataract surgery, so I had my bionic eye installed.
Yeah. That looks like Burt Reynolds, not Lee Majors.
That's I had one of those when I was a kid. You can look through the back of it.
Oh, really?
It was like a telescope or binocular. You can look through the back of his head through that little eye. I don't know if people remember that, but
I don't remember that. No,
it sounds wildly familiar.
Show. I used to love that show. I think I remember I was 6 years old watching that show.
Lee Majors, who went on to marry Farrah Fawcett. They were like the it couple from that era.
What was her name?
Farrah Fawcett Majors.
Okay, that's right. Farrah Fawcett Majors. And then there was that one lady that played as the Bionic Woman.
Yeah,
I can't remember her name. The actress. Yeah. Cliff Victoria probably knows that. But,
come on, Cliff, come through.
Yeah, Jamie Summers, the band.
If you aren't at least 50 years old, you have no
Colonel
idea what
Steve
the
Austin.
fuck we're talking about.
Colonel Steve Austin. Man, there was one episode where they were investigating Bigfoot, and Bigfoot was played by Andre the Giant.
Yeah,
he was a space alien. This is before Zim's time.
I love it.
70s TV. Yeah, but I was telling you before the show, cataract surgery. If you can imagine, somebody digging around your eyeball, cleaning and vacuuming inside your eyeball. That's what it's like.
Oh man, you must have gone through hell on that.
Yeah, it was a little brutal, but yeah, Lindsay Wagner. Thank you, Cliff.
Yeah, I would not have been able to stand for that. There's just no way. I would have been crying like a baby and threatening lawsuits and shit like that.
Yeah, it's unpleasant. But you got to man up and get it done. But it's weird. I can't wear my glasses anymore because it's that lens they put in fixes your vision and stuff. But it hasn't really come back all the way online. But it'll take a few days. But
well, I know a good lawyer if it doesn't start working soon. Okay.
Well, they don't guarantee anything, It's so you might still have to wear glasses, but there's an upgradable lens, and it has photo reactive cells in the acrylic that if you shine an ultraviolet light, it can adjust the prescription.
Ooh,
how fucking cool is that? Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I didn't get that because it would have been $7,000 extra bucks. So
right.
It's I'll just give me the basic knock,
Cliff says, I have cataract surgery on the agenda for a couple of years from now. Yeah, my ophthalmologist told me in about 10, 15 years, we might need to do cataract surgery. I'm I'll fucking be lucky if I'm alive in 10, 15 years.
When I went in there, they're like, you're kind of young for cataract surgery. Then she looked at my age. She's like, oh, well, maybe not. Well, thank you.
Jesus.
I was like,
damn.
The nurse.
Thanks, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we always start the show when we start talking about Bears with a very special presentation from Johnny Santucci. And then afterwards, that serves as a framework for a lot of the things that we'll be talking about.
Yeah.
And the segment is named Bear State of Affairs.
That's it.
Oh, where is it? Where's my roll? Oh, Jesus.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, exactly.
It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs. He got nothing but truth bombs about the Bears. He tells it like it is and always has, with no agenda, just a little pizza. Sit back, light it up, and crack open a beer. It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs. State of Affairs. It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs. State of Affairs. It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs. State of Affairs. It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs.
All right, Bears fans, Bars Flies, welcome back out. Good to be back at Bears State of Affairs. Bears 2025 off-season, week 29, about 5 weeks out. What's happening, Bar Flies? Yeah! 5 weeks. Woohoo! Yeah, well, there's a lot of things I could have talked about, Aldo, but the most important thing that's going on right now is training camp. I mean, there's a lot of news, but, we got to get down to it. The Bears are in the thick of training camp. The pads are now on. Well, fans are getting a better look at how the 2025 Bears might shape up. With the season opener only about 5 weeks away. Yeah, make no mistake, the Bears are without a doubt one of the more intriguing teams this season. Yeah, after a busy and aggressive offseason, which saw the Bears hire a new and highly touted head coach, rebuild the offensive line, and draft a new crop of exciting rookies, the Bears are expected to take a step up in the NFL.
I love it.
That's right, yeah. With Ben Johnson as the team's new head coach and a lot of new talent on the roster, on paper, Chicago should take a big step, and that's understandable. As Bears fans, we are full of hope. The NFC North looks wide open. Yeah, the team looks improved. The coaches are coaching the players hard. Yeah, but it wasn't long after the first practices of training camp were underway for the narratives to erupt.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Dano is back.
Yeah. Dan Orlovsky says it's going to take years for Caleb to get Ben Johnson's offense. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
All it took was a Caleb Williams interception or a few blown plays or a few misaligned players before media and fans started to panic, Aldo.
Thank you.
Yeah. The Caleb is a bust crowd came out to shout, "I told you so." Yeah, the Tyson Bagent stands made their appearance as well, proclaiming that Bagent should be the starter. Yeah, but all of it became quickly tiresome.
He's a fucking idiot.
It got so bad. It got so bad. This was my reaction last week, Aldo. Yeah. Yeah, look. Things always look rosier in the offseason before training camp starts. But as grizzled and wizened old Bears fans, well, the barkeeper and I were used to dealing with preseason Bears panic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is kind of an annual occurrence for us. The offseason moves make everything look like pie in the sky until training camp starts. Players are shaking off the offseason rusts and struggling to learn a new playbook.
I love that.
Bears off-season looks great. The preseason, not so good, Aldo.
That's
yeah. She looked good in bar. She looked good in bar light. Not so well otherwise. Thank you, Coldplay.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is the time of year when Bears fans are weighing hype versus reality.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, it's only natural there might be a slight recalibration in expectations. Last season, the Bears received a lot of hype as well following the selection of Caleb Williams, the #1 overall pick in the 2024 draft.
Yep.
However, last season, the Bears were unable to live up to the hype and suffered through another disappointing year that ended with the team starting 4-2 and then losing 10 straight games and missing the playoffs following the now infamous Fail Mary.
Jeez.
Yes, so in anticipation of another double doink or a Fail Mary, the barkeeper and I would like to keep our expectations in check.
You got it.
But like I've said here before, this season feels different, Zim. Yeah, there's literally a new sheriff in town.
That's a W.
Yeah, he means business. Ben Johnson, he's a tough coach. He's a hard ass, Aldo.
He is.
Yeah, this is a good coaching staff. And Johnson and his coaching staff have made a point of challenging every player on the roster. Yeah, they want to overload them to find out what they do best. And they have done this especially to Caleb Williams. They've thrown tough tasks at Caleb. They've thrown design blitzes at him to rattle him. They've made it uncomfortable for him. All of this, it's by design. But Ben Johnson, he's got a plan. He laid out guideposts for his quarterback. Yeah, Caleb Williams, he's got homework. That includes daily playbook study and a focus on his footwork. This is a timing-based offense, and it's different from what Caleb has been used to in the past. And according to Ben Johnson, this is a more complex offense than the one he installed in Detroit in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Said Johnson, quote, "We're not starting where this offense started in 2022. We're more complex, and there's a lot more going on. So, no, I don't expect them to have it mastered." And about Caleb Williams, Johnson said this: "What you also see is a lack of anticipation at times. That comes with reps. You got to do things over and over again. That's not abnormal for a rookie quarterback. And it's some of the pre-snap stuff he could improve on, the shifts, the motions. There were times when his eyes weren't quite in the right spot. Even though I hadn't been in the building, you kind of know where he should be looking, and it wasn't that way. That's where we've been pretty hard on him since I've been in the building."
Wow, that is very interesting. Please tell me more.
Yeah. Well, so Caleb Williams is basically a rookie again this season. The Bears fans will have to be patient as he learns a new offense and a new style of play. Yeah, Ben Johnson, as a head coach, he's a rookie too. But he's surrounded himself with good coaches. So here's my response to Dan Orlovsky saying it will take years for Caleb to learn Ben Johnson's Lions offense.
Let's hear it.
Caleb isn't going to be learning the offense that Johnson designed for Jared Goff. He's going to be learning the offense that Johnson designed specifically for Caleb Williams. Right. Yeah. This will be a season of adjustment with peaks and valleys. And it won't be just Caleb. It'll be the whole offensive squad. Year one will probably be rough. Year two should be smoother sailing. And by year three, hopefully Caleb has mastered the playbook that Johnson has tailored to his unique skill set. It's not going to be a finished product in training camp. Yeah, we shouldn't want it to be. It should be an evolving process. Yeah, at this point in the 2025 season, we have to put our trust in Ben Johnson. Yeah, by all accounts, though, he's putting in the work. And Ben Johnson said Patrick Finley pulls into the parking lot at Hallis Hall before 5 a.m. every day. And for the record, he's been waking up before his alarm clock goes off.
What?
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. He's definitely putting in the work. Yeah, by all accounts, though, this is a coach who's driven to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears, they're in good hands with Ben Johnson. And Bears fans need to look on the bright side. At least we're not Cleveland Browns fans.
I saw this. Oh,
no.
Bye.
Yeah. Or at least we're not the Browns fans. That is Bears state of affairs, brother.
Yeah, baby. Oh, that's the wrong one.
He told it like it is and always will. Listen next week to get an earful of whatever's happening with the Chicago Bears. It always happens here with John's State of Affairs. If you have to disagree, he's got a decree. Go fuck your fist cause you're on his blacklist. You just heard the bare truth right here and now. John gave it to you straight cause he's got no sacred cows. If you have to disagree, he's got a decree. Go fuck your fist cause you're on his blacklist. This was John's Bear State of Affairs.
Before we start talking about football, in that great Bear state of affairs, there seems to be a growing chorus among people in the chat that they missed "fuck your fist." Zim, you were the one that told me that it should be
you thought it was aggressive. No, right?
Yes.
Aggressive. That's the only word I use. It's a very aggressive turn of phrase. It doesn't mean it's a bad turn of phrase, but man, is it graphic.
That is true. If you decide to take it that way.
No.
All right, so let's talk football. We will contemplate the fuck.
There were so many ways I could have gone, but the main thing is this narrative that's out there. Like the first week of training camp, everyone, they're just making mistakes. They're just playing around. They're feeling it out and stuff, and everyone's like, "No, it's going to be years. They're going to stink." I couldn't take it.
Yep.
Actual message I got last night in a Bears group chat I'm in. I see videos of quarterbacks launching 60-yard touchdowns with ease with new offensive coordinators. Are we concerned? I'm aware Ben is throwing the sink at Caleb to see what he is, and then we'll adjust and narrow down from there. I'm just a little concerned. Bajent looks good, but rumor is the 2s and 3s aren't getting what Caleb is getting, which can also be an issue if Caleb gets hurt. My immediate response was, it's day 5. I'm more concerned with what I'm having for lunch tomorrow.
I love it. Let's talk about that for a second, because there might be an issue. They just finished installing in actual practice, I think 5 or number 6 out of 12. And so they have their next game, their first preseason game next week, and they may not still have all of the installs in. So should we maybe be a little concerned that they're throwing too much at Caleb Williams? I think it's a reasonable argument to have if you want to have it. What do you think?
Didn't we say the same thing about Justin Fields, though? Maybe they should tailor back the offense or scale it back a little bit,
Well, and to Zim's point, they are going to scale it back at some point, but I'm just wondering if maybe to start camp in his first year under Ben Johnson, maybe they're beginning by throwing too much, therefore not allowing him enough time to master what they decide to go for. Zim, what do you think?
I think it's day 6, and I'm more concerned about what I'm having for lunch tomorrow than any of this. Here's the honest to God answer with all of it, though. It's day 6, and they're only allowed 2.5 hours of practice time a day.
Correct.
Right. So 6 times 2.5, that's 18 hours. 18 hours. Is 18 hours enough time to master anything? No. Is it enough time to see marked improvement? Yes. Are they seeing that improvement? Yes. Is it getting more consistent day in and day out? By all reports, yes. Now, the success rate isn't 100%. It never will be. We're still only in the first week still of camp. They've only put on pads for 1 full practice so far. They put on shells, but full pads. Well, from what I understood, and the reason I only consider it 1 is because from what I understood, one of those practices was pretty low energy comparatively.
Right.
So yeah, but 2 days all the same. Yeah. So they barely had these pads on for any length of time. They're still getting up to speed. They're not running these practices at 100%. I'll tell you when I'll be concerned is when I'm at training camp on the final day of training camp and it still looks like this, right? That's when there's time to be concerned. But we're in the first week, right? How many times have you started a new job? And I keep coming back to the job analogy, metaphor, whatever, with all this, because that's what it is. Everybody forgets that this is these guys' jobs. They're not out there to do anything other than to pay their bills. Okay, so how many times have you gone and started a new job and halfway through your first week you're just like, fuck, I am not getting this, but then a week later you're like, no, I just had to keep at it. I pushed through.
Sometimes it clicks. Yeah.
And especially when it comes to learning a playbook, man, repetition is everything when it comes to learning a playbook.
It's reps.
for hours and hours and stare at it. But until you get enough reps on the field with it, it's just not going to click.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm not worried at all. And in addition to all of that, from all accounts that I've been reading, the last 2 practices have been significantly better from Caleb Williams in the offense.
Yep.
I can't speak on personal experience or anything like that. I haven't heard any firsthand accounts outside of what I read on Twitter and on various, sports reporting websites, but I'm waiting for some of that to start to come through. Like, honestly, I know that it's a little, I don't know what the turn of phrase I'm looking for here, but I usually wait for Hogan Johns and their podcast about training camp, because they have done a really good job over the last 5 years or so of giving really unbiased evaluations of just what they're seeing day in and day out. Yeah. So the only thing I've heard so far is, man, this looks a lot like all the training camps we've been to in the past so far. But that was also day 3.
I can tell you because I was at practice yesterday.
Yes.
And so I don't have anything to compare it to beforehand, because I wasn't at the earlier practice when all of this brouhaha, for lack of a better word, started to come up. But I can tell you that the offense looked pretty efficient. Yes, there were problems. There was one bad stat by Drew Dahlman. There was Luther Burden not lining up in the right spot. There were penalties here and there. But at the same time, you gotta account for the fact that this fucking Dennis Allen defense, and we're going to talk in detail about what he said today at today's press conference. This Dennis Allen defense is going to be a smoker this year. But getting back to what Tooch said during Bear State of Affairs when he cited Ben Johnson talking about the offense and the complexity of it and so forth, let's listen to the actual soundbite.
I actually went back right before we started camp and I looked at, 2022 when I first started calling the offense to 2024, what the training camps looked like, how much different the installs looked, and significantly got more complex and layered as we went. And we're not starting where this offense started in 22. We're more complex and there's a lot more going on. So no, I don't expect them to have it mastered, and yet they're really jumping into the deep end here and trusting the fact that we got a plan in place. We know what this is going to look like come week 1. We're going to be able to get the pieces aligned correctly, and they're just doing their jobs of knowing what to do, and we can detail it up once we get it on tape.
That's what you were referring to in your Bear State of Affairs, Stooch.
Yeah, they're throwing everything at him just to see which plays he runs the best, what he does best. All the players really are getting the same treatment.
Yeah.
What do they do best?
And the only reason I worry sometimes with this Tooch and Zim is I've seen this happen before where you throw a lot at a player and then it appears like he can handle all of that. Yeah. The bad stuff is going to be whittled away and see what he can. But at the same time, when coaches do this, I remember Vic Fangio doing it to Leonard Floyd, putting him everywhere. And his rookie season was not as effective as it, in my opinion, should have been. And I think a lot of that had to do with the defensive coordinator putting Leonard Floyd into a position where he was just learning too much, as opposed to selecting a few amount of plays and then having the guy perfect that and then grow after that. I know training camp is where, everybody learns and blah, 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 like Tooch said, but maybe it could be a mistake because I've seen, I have other examples outside of Leonard Floyd, but I won't get into all that shit. I just, as a Bears fan, I'm going to fucking worry. You guys know that.
And here's another thing that makes me not worry with all of it is with everything that's coming out, all the videos, all the highlights, I keep seeing the ball in DJ Moore's hands. Mm-hmm. And that tells me that they know exactly what they're doing here. They know who their best playmaker is. They know where the chemistry is from last year. They know how they want to run this and who they want to run it through. So with that said, it's all a matter of molding around that. They all talk about how they're molding this offense around Caleb, but I don't think that's what they're doing at all. I think they're molding this offense around the playmaker, like the idea of the playmaker, like who is the playmaker on your offense? And I mean, imagine what Ben Johnson would have done with like a Devin Hester, or with a Deebo Samuel, or with a Tariq Cohen, you know? And I think
gonna do stuff like that. We just saw it with DJ Moore to get the snaps in the backfield.
That's it. And Vizzo Joe says, you know, Rome has been the wide receiver one. I completely agree with that sentiment. I really do. I feel like I've seen a lot of Rome Odunze being wide receiver one, and that's because, you know, DJ Moore is PM one, playmaker one. He is the guy that they want to feed this offense through, at least from what I've seen so far. I could be totally wrong here once these games start rolling, you know, once we see how this actually goes, and maybe it kind of takes a different direction at that point. But just, again, with all the highlights I'm seeing DJ Moore catching the ball. I'm seeing him running the ball. I'm seeing him throwing the ball. I'm seeing him everywhere right now. And I'm like, man, DJ, he might be like a first round, second round fantasy wide receiver this year in terms of like the numbers he puts up.
Were you in my head earlier today? I swear I was thinking the same thing, because yesterday at camp, he was used in a variety of ways, lined up in a variety of ways. I posted on X a running play where he came in motion. Williams was in the shotgun, and then Williams flipped it to him as he got right to the center, and then he picked up 20 plus yards on the play, and he just looked so elusive and difficult to tackle. Then there was a pass, like a 10, 12, 15 yard out, where he caught it and slid before he got to the out of bounds marker. And then there wasn't a completion on the deep pass, but there was an attempt on the deep pass. And then all of a sudden I started thinking, you know what? I had Rome Odunze as the yards gainer as a prediction. I did on one of the barroom video shorts. I predicted that it was going to be Rome with most yards, but I think it's going to be DJ. I got to go back and look at those stats from when Deebo was used by the San Francisco 49ers in multiple ways.
That's exactly the role I see him in. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be really, really cool to see that.
You know, that's what we've talked about with DJ Moore since he came to Chicago. It's like, how is he the most dangerous? It's yards after catch, right? That's where he is nasty as a playmaker. You know, that's what got us so excited when they first traded for him, and his first play in a Bears uniform is a 70-yard touchdown in preseason. I was so excited about that. Why would your offense not just be put the ball in DJ's hands as quickly as possible and go from there?
Yep. I love that.
And that's why I see, like, I think we're too concerned with Caleb Williams and not widening our scope to the rest of this offense. Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
Look at all of it. And I've reiterated this point time and time again, but Ben Johnson took Jared Goff, a guy who was thrown out by Sean McVay, a guy who Sean McVay said, I can't win a Super Bowl with this guy. And he made him a legitimate MVP contender on a team that probably could have won a Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You know, it certainly wasn't because Jared Goff suddenly got a whole lot more talented.
Yeah.
It's because he built a system that worked with the playmakers in the system, you know, and while I'm on this topic, I really think that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to fall off a fucking cliff this year. I really do. And again, I could be totally wrong. I'm probably just a hater because fuck Detroit. But
I thought you said you had no hot takes tonight because you're coming in, brother.
I don't think it's that hot. I don't think it's that hot when I back it up the way that I am. But at the same time,
I'm going to put this clip on social media, and I'm going to tag the Detroit Lions when you just St. Brown, just to see how they come at you.
That's fine.
Don't worry.
You know why? It's the off season. We're going to get all kinds of engagement from Detroit fans because it's the off season. It's the only time they ever talk. All right. So,
they're still the team to beat. You know,
they've been awfully loud the last 2 years. That's for sure.
The Vikings won 14 games last year.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're also a team to beat, too.
Yeah.
You know,
I love the bravado coming from Zim, but yeah, the Bears have to prove it because I've been there before where I predicted 17-0 in Eberflus's second year. Now, how stupid do I look?
Yeah.
More than normal, that's for sure.
And we're just all ramped up about the new coaching staff, right? And I think deservedly so, because look at what he did with Detroit, right? Like, he took a team that we all made fun of for 100 years
for decades,
losing, and they didn't win a playoff game in my lifetime before last year. All right. And I'm not exactly a spring chicken anymore. So, I mean, compared to you guys, sure, but
that is true compared to us. I hear you on that.
So,
by the way, is it true that you're considering a haircut, but you think it will hurt your superpower?
I've been considering it. See what happens, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
What do you got? You got it. That's what I call a 2-tier hairdo, because it's down to your 2 tits. So what are you thinking about, getting it up to the neck, or are you thinking about doing a
no? If I cut it, I'm gonna take it like all the way back down again. But
okay,
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, shoot video, because we want to document as much of our personal lives as possible without involving other family members.
at the very least, I want to make sure that it's long enough to donate when I do cut it off. So I'm still a little short of that. I'm about half an inch to an inch away from that length.
Okay.
So I've got at least a month or two to decide in that. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
So an inch and a half, about the size of Jeff Willis's penis, huh? Oh, I got you, Jeff. Travis says that you should not do it, but that was before he heard that you were going to donate it. Now he says, I haven't cut my hair since before episode 1 of Southburst Hitman.
Nice.
That's 4 years ago, man.
Yeah, well, I think I stopped cutting mine somewhere in the 2nd season or 3rd season. So 2nd season it would have been. Yeah, it was literally the last time I got my hair cut short was for my wedding, and that was over 2 years ago now. So.
Jeez, how long? So how long was it for your wedding? So put up a wedding picture, man.
Oh, it was short.
I love it.
I'll have to find one and send it over to you to put up. But yeah,
Please
it
do.
was.
How fired up is Ben Johnson going to be for the Detroit games?
Oh my gosh, that's going to be so sweet.
Cook up some special plays.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's definitely going to have a stumble Rooski or something up his sleeve, you know. Watch, I would laugh my ass off if he actually tried just outright doing the stumble Rooski, or if he tried that Penei Sewell pass that they tried last year.
Yeah.
Get Darnell Wright out on the side and try to have him throw a ball.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. From those videos we saw earlier, it seems like Darnell Wright's more of a pass catcher than a thrower. I mean, holy, that dude had some hands for a big man. Does, yeah. All right, I want to play a clip of Caleb Williams. I think it was, who was it? It wasn't Vizzo. It was somebody else who mentioned about Caleb getting to the line of scrimmage quickly. And that has been something that's being taught by this new coaching staff. They want Caleb to the line of scrimmage quickly. And the question is why?
One, it adds a sense of, what our mentality is, getting out the huddle, getting on the ball, and we're going to attack you. So that's the first part. The next part is getting out there, lining up with that mentality, and then after that, it's it gives the center, it gives me, it gives the tackle, it gives the wide receiver to be able to see the technique of the DB. It gives the O lineman to be able to see, are we gonna double team to this backer? We're gonna push it, or are we gonna do this and that? And for me, it allows me to maybe re-mic it. It allows me to be able to grasp maybe what they're about to do. Maybe they may rotate, but have an idea off of whoever their alignment, their depth, their leverage, and things like that. So being able to have as much time on the clock, it only helps us.
I love that mentality, Tooch. I love that the team is getting up to the line of scrimmage. Hey, all the reasons that he just said. But number one, I love the fact that he listed being aggressive. We're going to come out after you. We're lining up quick. And now he's got, like he said, now I've got time to make the pre-snap and post-snap adjustments. Yeah. Oh, man, I love the thinking here.
He's got to get better at all that pre-snap stuff.
Right, and there seems to be some improvement, but of course, and I always have to punch myself in the face. We got to see it in the game, right, Tooch? All this practice, all this preseason stuff doesn't mean shit. We have to see it in a game. And even that short amount of time he'll get in the preseason, we need to see it there, too.
Next week, right, there's preseason one, right? What is it,
That's
Thursday?
Right. I think it's Thursday. I will be at Bears Fan Fest this Sunday. Saturday, I want to say. Yes, Saturday or Sunday is Fan Fest. And so I'm in one of the end zones. So if you see me out there wearing a barroom shirt, come on over and say hi.
Get a look at the Lions tomorrow without Ben Johnson.
Yes.
What do you think?
It's a Hall of Fame game against the Chargers.
How about Trey Lance starting for the Chargers? I had no idea he was on the Chargers until they announced that.
Because he was traded to the Cowboys. Yeah, he was traded to the Cowboys.
From the Niners.
And so did the Cowboys release him and the Chargers picked him up?
I don't know how he ended up there. The chat room has it. I wasn't even aware. So he's starting tomorrow, but there's going to be no Herbert.
No, they won't start any of the starters in a Hall of Fame game.
No way. None of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I did see some of the rookies will be playing, which is kind of interesting, but I mean, rookies.
I'd like to get a look at Amari and Hampton.
Yeah, you got to.
That'll be fun.
We're going to be in future episodes. We're going to talk a little bit more about fantasy football. Why? Because I got two experts with me, Zim Zimmerman and Tooch, and I also play in a league about them. So what they will share to you, I will use against them in the league so that I can win the big.
You spoke very openly about it on our show.
Got copies of the magazine too.
Yes,
that's right, baby. We both have our wrong one.
Wrong one.
Tooch worked on this magazine, ESPN Fantasy Football episode. You got your name in the credits? Because I know some magazines you do.
Yes. Yeah,
so,
I found it in there.
Everyone in the chat buy this magazine because Tooch has touched it with his
I've done it every
creativity
year for the past few years, but this year I think it really got improved a lot with their articles, commentary, charts, and data.
Yeah.
So this year I was really excited. I wanted to send it out to you guys.
Carl is asking, Aldo, do you have a fantasy football league I can join this year? I was not thinking of starting one because I'm a terrible commissioner. Because
we have a barroom league, though.
Yeah, we do have a barroom league. I don't think we have any openings.
We might. I don't know.
But if we do, Carl, I'll reach out to you. If anybody wants to start a league for Barflies
here, Ross will be vacating a seat.
Oh, that's right, Ross Reed.
Yeah.
Oh. That's right. So, Carl, we'll keep you in. By the way, Carl, weren't you supposed to be on tonight's show? Did I forget to send you a link? Jeff says flex motions and shifts are some of the simplest, easiest ways to help scheme guys open, get into better looks. I could never understand why the Bears offense the last few years didn't use that as much. I am with you, brother, on that. I want to play some more clips about people talking about the offense. Yeah. We played Caleb under center. We played Caleb lining up quick. And so, no, did we play the center one? I don't think we did. Here it comes.
There hasn't really been a challenge for me under center. I know that's been a big thing. But, there hasn't really been a challenge. It's just been, gaining the knowledge, how, the footwork, where we need to be, the landmarks of running back, the landmark for me, when I set up or when I'm rolling out or anything like that. So it's just been, practicing the technique. And so what I like about it, you get hard sell actions, backers biting, safety's eyes get, crisscross with different motions and things like that. And, it provides, the defense actually identifies it differently from when you're in gun, back offset and things like that. So it's a bunch of small, minute things that end up mattering. And, you end up having guys running free or you end up having great leverage on a safety or things like that. So it's helpful. It's going to be a part of us for a long time.
And he already sounds better than last year.
Yes, he does. Love the strategy there. In order to help a quarterback, a young quarterback or a struggling quarterback, what do? You put him on the center. You have him hand off the ball. You put him on the center. You do play action. It helps open up the portions of the football field. This to me is like somebody posted on the show just a minute ago, it's a no-brainer. You got to do this for the quarterback. And Ben Johnson is an expert. When you list the things that Ben Johnson did to help Jared Goff, that's probably number one, play action. And so the fact that he's doing it for Caleb is sensational, just absolutely sensational.
I feel like we finally have some good, offensive coaching and quarterback coaching. I know we weren't behind the scenes of the previous coaches, but by the way the coaches and players are talking when they address the media, it already sounds better than what Baldo and I have seen in the past.
A long fucking time. There was the 2018 season under Matt Nagy. There was hope there that they would be able to sustain that success, but it wasn't to be. I think, a lot of times these young coaches get into the league, they make a splash, but they can't sustain that because the plan was flimsy to begin with. And that's what's happened there. All right. Still talking about offense, I wanted to play this soundbite that I actually put up on X, so some of you may have seen it. But this is two of the three interior offensive linemen, the starters, talking about their experience and how they can help this team.
You're seen as the de facto leader of this unit. Do you feel like that's your role here?
I could tease I'm the older guy, but I think just try and lean on my experience. I've seen a lot of games and different defenses and different schemes, and but there's a lot of, Drew, Jonah, Braxton, these guys, they played a lot of football too, and they have a lot of experience, and they have great insights too. And as an offensive line, we're really just a tight-knit bunch, and we all want to succeed together. We're a unit.
He's only been 4 of 12 in terms of installs so far. How would you kind of characterize where the offense is in terms of still thinking and not being able to just play fast because you know everything?
Yeah, I think as you're alluding to it, it is a process, and you need hundreds and thousands of reps to be able to master things, and we're doing everything we can to chunk away, and we always focus on, is today better than yesterday, and do we understand it a little bit more than we did the last time we ran it? And hoping to have everything perfect right now is going to distract us from the goal of just being a little bit better today than the last time we ran the play.
Drew Dolman is 26 years old. He's got 4 years of experience. This guy's going to be with us and maybe have an Olin Kreutz type career. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tremaine Edmonds is 27 and has 8 years of experience. He's been in the league forever. They have a young but experienced roster here, which is crazy. But I really like what Dahlman threw out there about these are young guys, and that you need hundreds of thousands of reps to really be great at these things. And something that popped into my head while I'm watching these guys talk about the age and how it reflects it, and I think a lot of people don't give full credit to Caleb Williams. Just to give this a little context for everybody out there, Caleb Williams was not born when the attacks of 9/11 happened. All right.
I thought you were going to say in the United States.
No. Well, find a birth certificate. Let's get that ball rolling as long as we're at it, right?
Exactly.
but no, this man was born after the attack on the Twin Towers, and and we're expecting him to carry this franchise and just be able to pick it up no problem, coming off a lame duck rookie season with a coach that was obviously in over his head, and his current coach has outright said that year was effectively a complete waste of time. So,
right.
I just think, we have to keep context with all of it. It's really easy not to do, because we are a frustrated fan base, and I think deservedly so, when we've drafted 2 quarterbacks in the first round very recently, and they've both fizzled out within their first 3 seasons, and it's frustrating because it's felt like with both of them, it's probably because of the coaching, right?
Yeah.
And
for
so
sure.
now it's all right, we're swearing up and down this coaching is right. This quarterback better not be a problem now. All right. Because if we start going the other way on this whole thing, where all of a sudden we've got the right coach and we can't get the right quarterback, it's going to get ugly quick. And especially when you consider how this quarterback class is already looking, where 2, 3 of these guys look like legitimate NFL players already.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all, in my opinion, complete worst case scenario. I think, again, context behind it all matters. We have to contextualize the fact that we're all pissed off about a 3,500 yard season. 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Yep.
We would have built a statue for Justin Fields if he did that.
Do you account for the fact that so many of those yards came in the fourth quarter when the team was behind and defenses were playing a little soft?
Wait, are we talking about Matt Stafford or Caleb Williams here? Because I've told that Matt Stafford is a Hall of Fame quarterback, and that's where 90% of his career yardage has come from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I've made this take before, and I'll say it again. To me, Matt Stafford's entire career is identical to how he got all of his stats, right? Where like the first, 3 quarters or so, he really tried hard. He really gave it his all. He did his best. He got carried by some other players at times, but in the end, he just couldn't do enough to win. But then in garbage time at the end, he threw up all the numbers you ever wanted. He'd throw up 3 touchdowns, 200 yards, and scramble for another 40 yards. Just like how he went 0-16 in Detroit and put up a whole bunch of irrelevant stats and then went and won a Super Bowl on a team that Jared Goff probably could have won a Super Bowl with. So
maybe, but I do.
I'm a Stafford hater. Don't get me. I'll fully admit it.
Really? Are you? Because I totally got it there.
The guy's tough as nails, and he's a hell of an athlete. And like off the field, like I have nothing against the guy. I just think as a quarterback, he's in the Hall of Very Good, not in the Hall of Fame for me.
Well, I think he's going to make it to the Hall of Fame.
I think he will. I think he will.
I think when you analyze things, the difference between Caleb's first season, so very, very small sample size, and Stafford's any season is that, and I think it was Razzle Dazzle said this, is that those first 3 quarters, especially the first half for Caleb, were disastrous. I mean, disastrous.
Yeah.
I want to say 9, 10 out of 17 games. They were just really bad. They were really, really bad. And then, so when he starts to play better, when defenses are a little softer, it's great that he did. If he didn't, then he'd be out of town, right? We would all be calling for his head. But he's given us hope because of his fourth quarter, no matter what the defense has played. And now we just have to see him do it for 4 quarters. That opening possession, which is scripted out and rehearsed, there has to be points. Out of the 17 games, I expect that first series to have at least 3 points in 5 out of the games. But the rest of the games, it should yield a touchdown. Tucci, you with me?
Yeah, a couple things. First of all, this guy, look at the size of his hands.
Oh, my God.
Like, what the heck?
And that forearm. Look at it around the elbow.
I know.
Holy shit. That's the size of any muscle I have in my body.
It's like I thought of this guy first. When I saw Drew Dahlman's hands, I thought of this guy. I forget
Holy
this guy's name.
Shit. Talk about fuck your
got
fist.
like the world's largest hands. But just to put a bow on what Zim said, last season, the list of quarterbacks with 20-plus passing touchdowns and 6 or fewer interceptions. Yeah, it was Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and our guy, Caleb Williams.
Caleb. Nice. I like that.
Yep. And he also had the rookie record for most passing attempts without an interception. So, I mean, there's plenty to be excited about with Caleb Williams, and it's all on him to master the offense, on the whole offense. The offense, like I said, it's going to be rough year 1.
Yep.
Year 2, we'll see some improvement. Then by year 3, he should have the stuff mastered. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, I love that.
I think we'll definitely have some great highlights to pull out of this year, even if it's,
we had some great highlights last year too.
Exactly. And no, I think that these are all totally valid points. I think to Aldo's point about, a lot of this coming at the end of games and in the fourth quarter, we saw that with Trubisky as well. Like, I really think that it's a different kind of what we were seeing. Like with Trubisky, it was more like he finally turned his brain off and started just reacting to what he saw, and it made him a better player in the fourth quarter. Whereas with Caleb, it probably had something to do with the lighter defenses, the cushion, the gimme yards. But at the same time, I feel like with Mitch, it never helped him build any confidence. It never actually translated into anything else. Whereas with Caleb, it started to help him feel the offense a little bit. It started to help him gain chemistry with his players, where they were able to pull off, in the second half of the season, they pulled off what should have been 5 game-winning drives, and only one of them wound up actually being a game-winning drive, but 5 drives because of confidence gain, because of mastery of a system, because of getting in sync with your play caller, which he did with Thomas Brown. It all went a long way. And I have a lot of faith for the second season in a Bears uniform to really grow and develop. And it's why I've got so much faith in Ben Johnson to turn this thing around, because I do believe that Caleb learned a lot last year, despite none of it translating to this year, as far as offensive scheme goes.
Yeah.
But the experience is still invaluable there.
Yeah. Guys, I need to take a leak. So take it away.
Yeah. A couple of things I had in my notes. Let me just pull them up here before I get out there. First of all, the Bears, I wanted to conclude it in Bears State of Affairs, but the Bears will honor Virginia McCaskey this year with 2 ways. One is a VMH uniform patch.
Yes.
Similar to the GSH in 1983 tribute. And the other way is weird to me. They're not going to wear any throwbacks or orange uniforms this season. They'll strictly wear home and away jerseys. So to me, as I kind of missing out, I kind of would like to see some alternate uniforms. But Virginia McCaskey didn't. She only liked the classic uniform. She did not like the alternate jerseys and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they'll also do McMichael with the 76 decal on the back of their helmets. They'll be honoring him.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah, I was curious about it, but if that's, if those were any of her kind of final wishes or anything, or if they just know for a fact that, maybe that's why they never had really crazy uniforms over the years, is because Mrs. McCaskey was very particular about the uniforms that they wore and how she liked it. So whatever the reason is, I totally understand it. I totally respect it. I didn't really care for the orange uniforms anyway. The throwbacks were super cool, but they're also 5 years old. And in this league, that's about the lifespan of an alternate jersey anymore. It is disappointing, especially in a season where they're unveiling the new Nike Rivalries uniforms, which I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty excited for. And I totally hope that the Bears get one for a game against the Packers next year. When I saw those coming out, I was like, man, this is going to be a really cool opportunity. I hope it's something similar to what the MLB has done with the City Connect uniforms. I hope that we don't end up in an NBA style situation where it seems like they're wearing new uniforms for every game. But, I understand and I totally respect the choice.
They do that like in MLB. There's all these uniforms,
they're getting worse about it for sure. Yeah.
Saw some cool ones this year. Then I saw some ones that head scratcher. I want to get all those thoughts on the Bears honoring Virginia McCaskey with the patch, and then McMichael with the decal.
I love the fact that Virginia's going to get that patch because they did it for George Halas, and it's a kind of a classic look. So I apologize if I'm repeating what you guys have said. But also, I hope that there is more than just that. I hope that the Chicago Bears organization, with their halftime activities, the social media team, and I hope that the NFL network as a whole is just going to make a big deal out of Virginia McCaskey. Now, I know a lot of people, Mike North, who is a part of the Barroom Network, he's been very critical of Virginia McCaskey. He felt like she was a failed leader. But I disagree with them. I think that if anything, maybe she was a little too conservative with the cheerleaders and certain things and stuff. But she's earned that right because of her devotion to her father, because how often she hung out by his side at training camp as a kid growing up and into the games and going to games and so forth. Hey, was she born poor and worked her way out of poverty and stuff? No, she's not Mother Teresa, but she's been a good representative as the chairman of the board, whatever her titles were over the years. And so she needs to be celebrated this 2025 season, unlike most owners.
What do you think about them, like, according to George McCaskey, honoring her wishes to only wear 2 uniforms because she didn't like any of the other uniforms? I'm not sure that was her wish. To me, it sounds like a boneheaded George McCaskey idea.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, whoever's had that idea was wrong.
I know. I mean, all the marketing money and the jerseys you could sell, it's so stupid.
I'm embarrassed to say, but I love to go, whether it's to fucking Kohl's or the Rally House, where I was at the other day and bought this shirt and bought a number of other things. And great service over at the Rally House. Where did I go? Arlington Heights. I was trying to remember the name there, but the ladies that took care of me were just absolutely fantastic. But not only was the service great, but there was just a large selection of different styles. Yeah, in Arlington Heights, Rally House in the mid. I think they have some stores in the Wisconsin or Iowa area. So you should check that.
As the mayor, did they comp you anything there?
That's right, baby. Damn, I look attractive there.
I was wondering if you got some free gear.
Can you put that up one more time? There is an issue. I see my eyes. It looks like I might have cataract surgery sooner than
glaucoma. Hello, glaucoma.
Exactly. Those are blue eyes, by the way. So anyway,
I really enhanced those eyes.
Yeah, but no, I like fashion and I like different choices and so forth. You just have to have a really good fashion director or person in charge of stuff. There's some gay water. There's him if you need some.
I've got something for Zim though. This is magical penis wine.
It says pennies wine.
So what's the deal behind that? Where'd you find that?
I always find these things, but I don't think I would ever try that.
Well, if it's going to give you a hard on, pass it along.
It might, a little like Viagra liquor.
Exactly. Burlington Park is a great name. It is.
It is.
Lower my taxes, and I'll be happy to have it changed.
They should give, like with the revenue from Bears, should like lower their residents' property taxes for having to put up with the extra activity and traffic.
Oh, we've been talking a lot about that, my wife and I. So we'll see what's happening. We're planning on attending meetings and so forth to share our opinion, our very passionate opinion.
Like the Bears, like that, they have an opportunity with these alternate jerseys to to make some marketing and make some extra money. Like I don't know, Loki did those like polar bear uniforms. And I was like, oh, those are so cool.
Yeah,
all white helmets.
Yes.
Yes. The Bears they could wear those, then they tie it in with like a polar bear cap. How many of those would sell? Ooh,
I'm buying.
I'd buy a polar bear cap too.
All right, guys, before we start talking about the defense, which I promise you we would, I do have one other aspect of the offense I'd like to talk to you about, because one of the things that I noticed when I was at Bears training camp was Colston Loveland. His height, his size, his ability to get open, his how he is being used by Ben Johnson over and over again. Colston Loveland just caught my eye. Even when I was just scanning through a bunch of players, hanging out over there. It was that guy that I noticed because of his. Yeah, you're absolutely right
his
about
separation, his route running and separation. It's like he's a wide receiver. Moves like a wide receiver.
He really is
better than some wide receivers.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. I can think of many previous Bears wide receivers that he would be better at. This is Ben Johnson talking about Love.
Yeah, you can't gauge until you get him on the field the football instincts. It showed up from the get-go. He had a particular block the other day where the defensive end looked to spin out of it, and he was able to anticipate that and able to stay on top of it. So those are things that really stand out to a coaching staff that maybe if you're just a regular bystander, you might not see. And it's really encouraging when you look at a young player like that and the growth that he's going to be able to have the more reps that he gets.
Man, he's a smooth mover. I've been waiting for like a Greg Olson type impact player at that position for a long time, man.
He's like a leaner Cole Kmet. I mean, he's got the same build as Kmet, but just like
he's so much
carries
more
it so much better. Like I don't even want to say he carries it better. He carries it differently. It's like it's the difference between like a bulk lifter and a tone lifter when you look at the two of them. You know, like
Kmet has always been kind of stiff. I know he's improved. He's less stiff. He's less stiff than when he got here, but he's always been kind of stiff. You know, just like movement. Loveland, you see all that like flexibility and movement skills that are just a notch above.
Cole looks almost like the guy who like had to learn how to use his body, whereas Loveland looks like the guy who just like has been in control of his arms and legs for you know when like a kid grows too fast and you're like, man, that kid is gangly and does not know how to move. It almost looks like that's what happened to Cole Kmet, whereas Colston Loveland was like proportionally sized his whole life and just like knew how to use his body, you know.
He's a good athlete. I mean, for this, like 4.7 for a tight end is pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
among the fastest.
I think Loveland may his game speed might be a little faster than that, just from what I've watched. But his ability to separate or fake out and get into his breaks, you know, sink his hips and get to the spot. That's going to be a huge weapon this year.
He's got that dual advantage of being quick and fast, so he's going to beat a lot of linebackers. Plus, his size, his height, and so forth, and practically any safety in the league is going to be at a mismatch because he's just going to be able to grab those high passes. And what's great between Caleb and Colston is they're figuring out that chemistry that can be between them. In fact, this is Caleb Williams talking about Colston.
He's been great. You know, he's a smart cat. We've hung out a few times. We actually just him and a couple other teammates. We went down to the city on our off day, and you know, had dinner and things like that. So you know, we're hanging out, building that bond, building that trust, and on the field wise, like I said, he's smart. He knows what he's doing. He's a young cat, so there's going to be a few mistakes and things like that, and you know, maybe hand placement, but. You know, when the ball goes up and things like that, you know, I got all faith in him. You know, the other day I actually threw a ball down the middle to him, and the ball kind of slipped out of my hand. It was a little sweaty, and I kind of raised up because I knew the ball was slipping out of my hand after, and you know, he went up and grabbed it and came down with it. It was a big catch, and things like that provide, you know, trust, faith, and belief that whenever that ball goes up in the air, you know, it's his. And so other than that, it's just building a connection, you know, routes and things like that, kind of figuring out how he moves and other things like that. So, you know, when we get out there in the field on, you know, Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays and things like that, we're out there rolling.
That's the player I'm most excited to see this season is Colston Loveland.
Yeah, I'm learning to feel that way. I wasn't so excited about the whole thing. Yeah, you know, I mean
draft day we weren't excited. We're like, really? We're taking a tight end? We didn't know. Like, but now that you get into his film a little bit more, his games, and then, you know, they weren't throwing a lot and stuff. But I mean, the stuff that you did see, you know, it's there. You know,
well, so let me ask you this:
Travis Kelce type impact,
based on what you know now, because you really wanted Ashton Jeanty, even imploring the Bears to trade up if they could. Based on what you know now, Jeanty, you know, just compare the Jeanty Loveland and tell me, do you feel as strongly? Because I know your disappointment that we didn't get Jeanty was pretty high up there. How do you feel now, knowing what you know about Loveland?
Very happy. I mean, if we couldn't get Jeanty, I was very happy with that because their plan was to get Travion Henderson in the second round, and they got sniped by New England. So that was the plan. Imagine if we would have. We wouldn't have Luther. But if we did have Travion, man, I would be. If you asked me today, would I take Travion over Luther, I would take Travion over Luther. But I'm excited about Monangai. I think he's kind of like a poor man's Jeanty. And don't get me wrong, Jeanty is going to have a massive season. He's easily a first-round fantasy pick.
Yeah, a first round?
Oh, easily. He's top 6, I think. I think.
I'm sorry. You said Genty. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Ashton Genty's a top 10 fantasy pick, top 5.
Yeah.
He'll have a Bijan Robinson type immediate impact.
They have nobody else. The Raiders. They're going to run the hell out of him. It's going to be massive fantasy season. So I wouldn't mind. I'd be perfectly happy with taking Genty in the first round. The only thing that could slow the kid down would be injury. Manunga, I think, is going to surprise somebody. Now, Roshan Johnson looks good, man. It's like running around, knocking people over, looks stronger, faster. So maybe the Bears knew some things that we didn't know, ahead of the draft, when they went into the draft. I know they wanted to get having Travion Henderson would have put that explosive play on the Bears' radar, out of the backfield.
Let me say real quickly, Zim, and then you can jump in. I just want to credit J2K because he and I had an exchange on social media, and he was a proponent of Loveland over Warren because of his compatibility with Cole Kmet. And Danny Shimon said the same thing. So I'm sorry, Zim, go ahead.
I didn't care about that at all, though. I mean, I was like, I thought Loveland might be the better player just because he's just a better route runner. I liked Warren. I like, if you want a big tight end rumbling around.
He's going to have a good fantasy season.
Yeah, he'll have a great fantasy season too. But
he's so similar
I'm not
to
drafting players because they fit well with Cole Kmet.
Yeah,
I don't care. Cole Kmet might not be here in a year or two.
Unless you're thinking about moving Cole Kmet, then you draft the Tyler Warren. But if you're thinking of a compliment, you're drafting.
This is a two-headed monster. This is a two-headed monster. We've all drawn the comparisons over and over and over again to Gronk and Hernandez. Like, there's no reason it couldn't be that. Absolutely none. So they did not do this in spite of Cole Kmet by any means. We've talked about it time and time again. They play 2 different positions. It's like trying to say that Juan Pierre and Aaron Rowan play the same position. It's like, well, yeah, they're both center fielders, but those are wildly different guys.
Yeah. He's a White Sox fan, Mr. Zim Zimmerman. Before you say anything, Tooch, because I want to credit Zim. Zim has been working, and so he didn't see any of the press conferences. So when he says two-headed monster, it reminded me that I have this from Tremaine Edmonds talking about the tight ends.
Yeah, I think he's obviously a big guy that can move. Got a big frame. He's strong. You know what I mean? And like I said, he's fast. And just, being able to, create mismatches on linebackers, being able to create mismatches on the DBs that's covering. I think that's going to be helpful for us. And just having somebody that can do that, somebody that can separate, somebody that can get open, and just be a security blanket for the quarterback, man. I mean, a tight end's a quarterback's best friend. I think with him and Cole, you got a two-headed monster. And, 2 guys that can do a lot of extremely good things. So it's a lot of good stuff on our side for the good guys.
That's gonna fire you up, Zim.
Oh, absolutely. I love hearing that, especially from big man across the middle who's got to deal with them all day long.
Can we talk a little bit about Tremaine Edmonds,
please?
Just because if you're reading between the lines, and Aldo knows how I love to read between the lines.
Yeah, you're an expert at it too.
But Tremaine Edmonds could have a really big season in Dennis Allen's offense. We've been waiting for it. Is it fair to say that maybe the last coaching staff didn't know how to use the guy?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's fair. Absolutely.
He's not
he's not the most instinctive, but do we know whether maybe just hasn't had the right coaching?
That's just it. He was really good up in Buffalo when he was playing like a proper Mike position. But like last year in Eberflus's system, it's almost like there was no Mike in that system. Like the system was also it was a Sam and a Jack with nobody in the middle to fill it up. And so if you put him properly in the middle of the field, he really occupies that space well. And it makes me wonder if he's almost more of like a 4-3 kind of linebacker because of it. But you never know. Or rather, a 3-4 kind of linebacker, excuse me.
The modern NFL. No, you're right with 4-3.
Okay.
Like he has
I'm mixing myself up. Yeah.
Urlacher type potential. Urlacher used to fill that middle and deep middle. How many times did Urlacher drop and hard for quarterbacks to throw over that intermediate middle throw?
And that's
what Tremaine Edmonds' potential is.
It's why I think that It's why I think that TJ Edwards is going to end up more in that Sam role this year, and I don't know. Their linebacking role.
You have to watch out for the new kid. What was it, number 47?
Yeah,
that kid's been making plays in training camp left and right. Ruben Hippolyte.
Ruben is what was it, 4th or 5th round draft pick. He's going to make an impression this year.
I think he's going to get some playing time, man.
But I want to ask you guys.
Remember the draft? We were like, "Who the hell's this guy?"
Oh, yeah, nobody knew.
Like nobody heard of him.
Even Dane Brugler and the Beast did not have a scouting report.
Danny was like, "I don't have anything either, man." We all were like, "I never heard of him."
Yeah, but now people will hear of them. But I want to ask you guys this question. Who do you think is going to play more snaps at that middle linebacker position? Because there's been some cross-training going on. Dennis Allen said that he wants TJ to play some of the Mike, and he wants Tremaine to be outside and so forth, because he wants versatility in all the players, in the defensive line, the linebacker position, and the defensive back position. So I ask you, here's the question. Is Tremaine maybe better as an outside backer, and TJ Edwards, who had played middle linebacker before coming to the Bears for 2 or 3 years, is that perhaps a better way, more effective way to have these linebackers deployed? What do you think, Zim?
I'm with you.
My gut says Edmonds, and I simply think it's because he's just bigger, he takes up space better, and he's better in coverage. You know, TJ Edwards, he's a downhill player, whereas Edmonds is more of that reactive kind of player. And in this kind of defense that Dennis Allen wants to play, your linebackers are your middle linebacker specifically is in a much more reactive position. It's what made Demario Davis so good in that system is he was able to step back and let the play come to him. It's why he was still relevant at like 35 years old playing linebacker, because he let the play come to him. And that's something that Edmonds, I think, can do really well. It's the reason why we think that he hasn't lived up to expectations in Chicago is because he's being asked to be a downhill player when that's not the kind of player he is. So
interesting. Your thoughts, Tooch, on the linebacker position?
My initial thoughts are basically, the same as Zim. I would lean towards Edmonds, and perhaps they just want everyone to get a feel of all the positions, linebacker positions, in case of injury, or attrition, any kind of thing like that. But my thing, on third down in passing situations, I think Hippolyte's going to see some time, man.
Here's how I feel about this. Primarily, I want Kyler Gordon lining up against the opposing team's tight end in situations more than I like any of our linebackers.
That's where I do like Hippolyte a lot.
Yeah,
that's where I think they brought
I like Hippolyte too. Yeah, they're.
Yes,
and that's where Edmonds and Hippolyte have a similar skill set in that regard, where they're both speedy, rangy guys that don't excel well in traffic, and I mean, that's just objective. I think all Bears fans will agree that Edmonds is not super great in traffic, but you put him in space and he can play pretty well. And so that's where he and Hippolyte, I think, have a lot of similarities, where maybe this is sort of like a Komet situation where, they don't necessarily play at their same position, but if you decide to move on from a guy in a year or two, you have somebody waiting in the wings now to take care of it.
Well, we're going to see a lot of these guys blitz, from different places. That's what Dennis Allen likes.
I've heard
to
a lot of that.
You'll see Kyler Gordon come on the corner, the nickel cornerback blitz, and Edwards, Hippolyte, Edmonds, even Brisker, they're all going to get some blitz time.
Well, I mean, Brisker and Gordon are such good blitzers. It's the entire reason why they were drafted by the Bears in the first place in that second round.
That is awesome. I'm getting so excited. I got to contain myself, because what this defense could potentially offer and what the Bears offense could offer. Yes, exactly. I can't fucking take it. But I do want to say this about Edmonds, because I think that he could have a lot of value depending on matchups on the outside as opposed to the middle linebacker. But the one thing about Tremaine Edmonds that has always excited me, even from the days where he was with Buffalo, was when he was in the middle and he has this wide stance and he's got his arms out here. I'm thinking
like a
myself,
7-foot wingspan.
Exactly. It's like, what the hell? The quarterback must be thinking there's no way I can thread it through any gap.
Yeah.
And I haven't quite seen him be that dominant in pass coverage with his movement. And I'm hoping that Dennis Allen can unlock that skill because he's got it. We know that he's got it.
Well, that's it. It gives me this idea, right? To put him in the middle and you put Bayard back deep and you leave your two corners and man coverage on the side, right? Everybody likes to drop offensive plays and give them to the teams and say, go run this play. Now, here's your defensive play. I call it the 69 blitz. All right. Man coverage across the board. Well, sorry, 2-man on the outside, zone in the middle. And you got Brisker and Gordon coming in off the edge as dual blitzers from the secondary, right? Number 6, number 9, the 69 blitz.
I love it. The 69 blitz. I love it. I got some more on Colston Loveland. We just heard from Edmonds talking about Colston Loveland, but this is I think Caleb. I got Caleb somewhere. I got to just find it. Caleb, where are you talking about Loveland and what he likes about him? Let's take a listen. Actually, that's the wrong one. I must not have loaded it because I cannot fucking find it. But Caleb had some very complimentary things to say about Colston Loveland. And the video, as part of that video, I wanted to show to you, everybody was talking about Loveland is a receiver, just a receiver. Well, you have to give him props as a blocker. Take a look at what he does here. He is playing in motion. He comes out and then he throws a block on a defensive back, Elijah Hicks, and Caleb Williams gets in for the touchdown. Now, maybe he's playing slow motion. He stops there. Watch, he's gonna and TJ Edwards goes the opposite direction of where the ball carrier, Caleb Williams, is going. And then he locks in with Elijah Hicks, gets the block to get him into the end zone. Colston Loveland excites me as a pass receiver, and I heard David Hall, my buddy David Hall, say, you guys are talking too much about he's a blocker. Yeah, he can block too. Listen, David Hall, you have to remember what Ben Johnson said. No block, no rock. And Colston Loveland is living it. So, and he's a tight end, David Hall, so you got to respect the fact that he can block.
It's something I love about Ben Johnson and the way that I'm sure he's designing this offense is who thinks to throw a fake block, you know, like he goes to fill a gap that he doesn't care about and then just keeps moving because those are the kind of details that are going to make this offense different. It's the kind of details that made Detroit successful. It's the kind of details that I think are going to cause them to fall off quite a bit on offense because who the fuck thinks of that? And it's what's so fun about the potential for this team. It's why we're so amped up as fans. It's not just because of the Penei Sewell passes and the stumble Ruskies. It's because of a fake block on a designed quarterback run. It's because of a 2 tight end set where you have 2 legitimate receiving threats as tight ends. It's the things that you don't think of that he does just because he's that obsessed, you know? And Matt Nagy used that word a lot, right? Obsessed. We want these guys obsessed. I think they found a guy who's obsessed.
Love it.
Yeah, Matt Nagy didn't have plays as creative as that, though. I mean, look,
he's not obsessed.
We haven't had details like that. We haven't had offensive plays like that, man. I can't remember, man. I'd go back to like Ed Hughes when who was coaching for Ditka, offensive. They had some nice West Coast offense plays when Suey and Peyton and, Willie Galt and everyone, Emery Moorhead running nice plays. They had a better playbook. We haven't had a good playbook. I mean, Lovie Smith had how many offensive coordinators?
Yeah,
we always lose them. We never have a consistent offensive system, which is why the hiring of Ben Johnson is the most important hire they've made in years.
I love it.
You know?
I am so psyched up. I am really fucking feeling too happy for words. But here, I want to share with you another, because we're 90 minutes into the show. We haven't talked about the defense in full effect. Let's start by hearing Dennis Allen talk about this defense.
Best thing that I've seen from our group, is that I've seen a lot of improvement from where we were in the springtime. And that's what you really want to see guys get accomplished throughout the course of whether it be the off-season program, OTAs, mini camp, now into training camp. We haven't had to really take a step back. We're giving them a lot of stuff. There's a ton for them to digest, but those guys are doing a really good job of understanding, what we're asking them to do. And then we're continuing to work on, how we have to do it, the way that we're going to play defense. And so I think that's what training camp's really all about. I mean, obviously there's an aspect of, understanding the scheme. But I think as much as anything, it's about just teaching them the way that we're going to play defense, the speed, the violence, the aggressiveness, how we're going to get up and challenge. I think that's been the biggest thing, and I've seen improvements in that regard. I think our coverage aspect. I think Ben mentioned this the other day in his press conference, but the coverage aspect has been a lot more clean, a lot stickier than it was in the spring. So that's good to see, and that's a big part of what we do. So.
You know what, Tooch and Zim, these two guys, and Declan
real
Doyle
coaches.
Too. Yes, Declan Doyle too. I didn't select the soundbite for him, so we won't hear him tonight. But man, they just. And I've complimented Bears coordinators, not head coaches, but Bears coordinators for how they communicated in the past. But I am feeling so psyched. It's almost embarrassing to me because this team will probably be 7-10. I just hate the fact that I'm falling in love again, Tooch.
17-0.
Exactly.
They fucking get us every year. It's such it's a scam, I swear.
Oh my God, you ain't kidding.
You want to talk about the scam? That's this guy right here. But that's a whole other show.
Yes. Well, we should program a end of the year White Sox show and just delve into all the issues with that. But
is that show? You're not doing any show anymore across town.
No. It was deemed irresponsible by the Barroom Network to talk about the White Sox.
And NC-17.
It's we believe in strong mental health here at the Bar Room, and when you can't provide support in an effective way,
yes, exactly.
here on the Bears Network, it's therapy, right? But the South Burbs Hitman was becoming like a suicide pact at a certain point.
Exactly. All right, so I got Dennis Allen talking about, because one of the things we've been concerned about, right, is the pass rush, the defensive ends. And somebody asked me how Dial looked in practice. I thought he looked, and this is just one practice, so a very, very micro-sized sample size, but he reminded me of Yannick Ngakoue. He's going to give you 6, 7, 8 sacks. And not much more of that. Now, hopefully Dennis Allen can unlock that because he's going to use a lot of different formations and stunts and so forth to get people in good. Yeah, we are all in an abusive relationship with the Bears, Vince. You're absolutely right. But Dennis Allen was asked today, as a matter of fact, on Wednesday, about the backup defensive end position. Now, listen to this carefully. It's a minute long.
Sweat. Has anybody jumped out?
Well, look, I think we're developing, some depth. At the position. I think we got a lot of guys that, have the capability of playing in our league. Obviously I got some experience with Tano. I think he's been a good addition to our group. I think Dom Robinson's a guy that's, improved a lot from where I saw him on tape last year to what I'm seeing right now. And so, but again, with all of these guys, we're going to temper our evaluations a little bit, and we're going to get into a little bit more live action and just let this competition play out. I mean, there's really not any decisions that are going to be made in the first, couple of weeks of camp. We're going to let this competition play out and, see how it goes.
I swear to God, if Dominique Robinson doesn't get like 6 sacks or something stupid this year, just out of nowhere, like he has footage. Like I don't know what he does to these coaches, but they all fall in love with him, man.
I agree. By the way, I think Grady Jarrett is going to be, you know how the quarterback always buys Rolexes for the offensive line. Grady Jarrett should get Rolexes by the end of the season. He should get Rolex watches from linebackers and defensive linemen because he is going to create so much havoc that those guys' stats are going to be outstanding. And when I saw him in camp, you just noticed, who's that guy? Oh, that's Grady. That's our new guy. Yeah. It was all over the place, and he's got this energy about him. He's got this aura and persona about him that it's rubbing off on the rest of the players. Guys, Grady Jarrett, I know he's old, and we've all been worried. Okay, we're getting the fucking remnants of a great career.
He's going to be a problem for other offenses.
I agree, Tooch. I totally agree. All right, let me see what else I got regarding the defense from Dennis Allen. This is Dennis Allen on. He was asked by Herb Howard a really good question about dime defenses because at camp, from what I saw and Greg Gabriel saw, and what's happened at other camps and has been reported, is that the Bears have been playing a lot of dime defense in camp.
Coach is mixed in a good amount of dime here. What do you like about that personnel package and how it allows you to attack offense?
Yeah, I just think it gives us a little bit more versatility. Versatility from a coverage standpoint, what we want to do coverage-wise, just gives us a little bit more versatility. And yet, look, we're not married to any particular package. We're going to explore a lot of different things, a lot of different packages, and we're going to throw a lot of stuff up against the wall. We're going to see what sticks, and ultimately that's what we're going to do, put our guys in the best position to be successful. And I think I said this the other day, our job as coaches is to find the best 11 to give us the best opportunity to play successful defense. And whatever that package is it 3 linebackers? Is it 2 linebackers? Is it 5 DBs, 6 DBs? And that could vary from week to week.
To be able to use Kyler in those situations, moving him around, free safety, outside corner. What do you appreciate about his game that allows you to do that?
Well, look, I think anytime you can have guys that have versatility that can play multiple positions, it gives us the flexibility to do a lot of different things. And look, when you go into a game, and you got 48 guys dressed on game day or whatever the case may be, guys that can play multiple spots, you have an injury or two, and then now all of a sudden you got guys that can play multiple spots. It allows you to put your best 11 on the field. And so I think being able to cross-train players, is going to pay off and pay benefits for us, as we get into the season, because the season is a game of attrition. That's what the NFL is. I've said this before, that the NFL is a backup league, which means this. It means at some point your backup players are going to have to go in and play. And we're going to expect that they're going to be able to perform at a level that gives us an opportunity to be successful. So having guys that can play multiple positions just gives us flexibility in terms of how we deploy our personnel.
So my question to you, both of you guys, each of you guys, is which player do you think is going to benefit most from this aggressive, man-to-man, versatile defense? To start with you.
Man, it's hard to say. Off the top of my head, I would say Kyler Gordon.
That's a good one.
Coverage to line him up in a lot of.
He's going to be at the safety. He's going to be at the outside corner. He's going to be in the slot corner. He's going to be doing a lot of different things. That's a good choice.
Vizzo makes a nice point because they're going to be playing a lot more, press man, and so Tyreek Stevenson, he's a lot better at that than playing Eberflus had him playing a lot more zone coverage. But I would still.
Stevenson was a dog with that in Miami.
Yep.
Let me interject real quickly because I still want to hear you guys' opinions on this. But I want to tell Vizzo is that Tyreek Stevenson looked really good at camp when Greg Gabriel and I saw him yesterday. But here's the thing, is that Dennis Allen said that position, that outside position, is still up for grabs. And Nahshon Wright, Nahshon Wright, who was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys in the 3rd round, he looks really good. Oh my gosh, he's almost 6'4", so he's tall. He's got length, and he can run like a guy that's not 6'4". He can run like a guy that's 6 feet. So that's going to be interesting.
What did we draft Zay Frazier for then?
Yeah, right.
I'm kidding.
Develop, man.
I know. I'm kidding. But that's the.
Well, and here's the thing: if they're playing dime, they need a lot of DBs, man.
Yep.
I mean, you got 6 of them out there at once. You need at least 4 safeties on your roster, and you need at least 7 CBs on your roster. Like, I mean,
I have them keep 11 DBs.
And like,
I wouldn't be surprised at all. 7 and 4. Yeah, 7 and 4 wouldn't be abnormal at all. I could even see 7 and 5 if they're running dime.
Yep. And I Dennis Allen didn't say in any of the clips, I think, that I provided, but he said the National Football League is a league of attrition. So it's not just about the starters. It is about how strong your depth is, because those cornerbacks, those backup cornerbacks we have are going to play. Those backup defensive linemen, et cetera, et cetera. It's important to develop a really good team with depth and versatility.
Greg Gabriel likes Terrell Smith too quite a bit. He said on his show.
I do like Terrell Smith, especially in a more physical role, but the guy I got my eyes on, he reminds me of somebody that both Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen have coached. And that's CJ Gardner-Johnson.
I thought.
And Tyreek Stevenson reminds me of him a little bit.
Yep.
And my goal here is for both of them to kind of get in his ear and be like, dude, you're good, but you know what would make you better? Talk some shit. Like, really talk that shit. Like, really get in their head. Get Javon Wims to punch you in a playoff game so that we get that advantage. You know, like I can't help but think that they're gonna see that edge from one of these guys on defense and be like, all right, that's our CJ right there. This guy, he's the antagonizer, you know? He's the enforcer out there. His job isn't to play defense. His job is to get in the other team's head a little bit. And like, that's where I think that Tyreek Stevenson will benefit from Dennis Allen. I don't know that he's necessarily going to take his game and improve it by any means, but if they like get him in the right mindset of like, hey, why don't you turn that problem that you had in the Washington game last year into an advantage, you know?
I love it.
Like, I
never thought about it that way. Thank you.
That was perfect timing.
Yep.
Let's see if I've got anything else from today's press conferences. I do not, but I do have stuff from Richard Hightower's press conference on Tuesday that I'd love to share with you in the audience and get your comments about Hightower. First of all, I want to preface this by saying there were a couple of instances in the 2024 season where I was like, maybe Hightower is not as good as I thought he was. You know, the blocked kick at Green Bay, the low trajectory from Cairo Santos, a few other things. And so I was really pissed off. But he always wins me back. He's one of those girlfriends that you break up with, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in her arms in bed, smoking a joint. So anyway, this is Richard Hightower. It's a little long, at 1:12 seconds, talking about special teams, and I can't see what the hell.
We have this many new players coming in.
Okay. Talking about the makeup of the players who play special teams.
You have this many new players coming in, potential special teams players. You have a lot of athletes, you have a lot of guys that can learn the system. How do you assess who has the right mentality to play on that unit?
Yeah.
That's a good question, Jay. So we talk about mentality from the very first start, like what we believe in, what our core is, exactly what our beliefs are, what our philosophy is. And the scouting department does a really good job of bringing those type of guys in. So from day one, if you don't have that, then you're probably not going to last in our room. But we judge that by the way they work. We evaluate everything they do. So we evaluate the way they watch tape, the way they come back, all right, from the tape after practice, how hard they work in the weight room, how they walk around, how they treat people. All of that is part of being a pro. And then ultimately it's about producing. So if they don't have the right mentality, they can't play here anyway, because that's how being is. Like they can't play here. And they damn sure can't play in my room if they don't have the right mentality.
How can you not love that guy? Right?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yep, it's got to be very well thought of at Hallis Hall to, be the one. It was the only coach they retained from the last.
The only one, the only coordinator, maybe a coach, a position coach or two, but yeah, the only coordinator. And I think, I've debated in my mind because I often speak to myself like a crazy man as I'm walking down city streets, and I've debated whether he is head coach material. And sometimes I say no. Sometimes I say yeah. Well, Zim, you seem to be with your head gesture saying the same thing.
Yeah, I can see it both ways. I felt the same way about Chris Tabor, the guy who was here before. And I'm like,
and he should have been a head coach,
right? So,
or Dave Tobe.
Well, I don't know about Tobe as a head
gotten
coach.
a shot as a head coach. I think he should have.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's not that I disagree. It's more so, are people worried about him in the same way that like Vic Fangio and Dennis Allen kind of fizzled out as head coaches, where like they're really, really good coordinators, but just could not hack it as a head coach. I mean, it happens with a lot of these guys.
If this guy could get a shot as a head coach, why not Dave Tobe, Aldo?
Oh, no shit. I mean, and I could go into a long rant about why he got his position, but I won't, because we want to look.
It's because he's a genuine person. Like Dave Tobe is going to stand by his principles, whereas I think Matt Eberflus sold his soul to the devil or something. Like,
a yes man, a company yes man.
I'm going to give Zimmerman the Player of the Show award. I mean, Tucci came close. You had an excellent Bear state of affairs, but Zim definitely.
This whole competition's rigged.
Typically his takes on stuff are atrocious. I don't know what happened to you, Zim, today, but you've nailed it, man.
I'm sipping the gay water over here. It helps.
You should switch to magical penis wine.
Good stuff. Very good stuff. All right. I got one more from Hightower. This is for that all important return position. And who's competing at the punt return, because those guys touch the ball 6-7 times and are capable, hopefully 6-7 times, and are capable of really turning the game over. So Hightower is asked about who's winning that punt return position.
What are you looking for in the punt returner that you end up picking?
Yeah, so first and foremost, looking for a guy that's going to secure the football for us. That's the first goal, is to secure the football and always give it back to our offense. Once we catch it, we're looking for a guy that can make plays, game-changing plays, not just a first down. We want guys that can make people miss in space and that can take it to the house. That's what we want.
Is anyone standing out?
They all competing right now. I mean, I would say they're working hard. All of them are working hard every day. I tell you what, Torrey is doing a phenomenal job challenging them. All right, making it hard on them. A lot of specialty kicks out there that he's worked on over the summer. So that's challenging a lot of our punt returners. We're fortunate here because Randall L., was a punt returner in this league, and we got all our coaches back there helping. Obviously, we're coaching them, but they're coaching them too. So we're fortunate to have Antoine back there, and he loves it.
Now, it's pretty certain that Devernay is going to win that job because of his resume. But Vizzo asked me earlier, what did I see in camp? Greg and I were really impressed with Maurice Alexander. And frankly, a lot of the guys were doing well at the punt return position. So I think it's a closer race than a lot of people just automatically handing it to Duvernay. If there's going to be a surprise cut, and there will be, Duvernay might be on that list because of the play of guys like Maurice Alexander and other guys. So let's not automatically assume that Duvernay, as great as he's been in his NFL career, is the guy. They might want to take a chance on an undrafted free agent, a little known name. So that's going to be an interesting race to watch, guys.
Given a guy's 28 years old,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he's really he's playing it like it's his last chance.
Yeah, and there's a lot to say about that, isn't that, Tooch? I mean, we've all played sports, you know, and we've encountered situations where it's either your last chance or somebody else's last chance, and they come through in a big way. By the way, Cordero Patterson was released. I don't think he's been picked up by anybody, but you guys,
They released him on his day off too. He said,
I know, right?
Yeah. It's like,
it's like, why? It's my day off.
Yeah, man, the Pittsburgh, the Steelers have been known as like a quality organization, except for it's like stumbling the past couple of years. They haven't been up to the snuff, you know, the usual Steelers quality. You know, now they're they're like a players organization, a players coach, players organization. They've drafted well, stuff like that. You know, but releasing a guy on his day off. You know, especially a veteran of his caliber, you know.
By the way, I want to acknowledge Demon Dicey, DC, however you pronounce the name, but he writes, "Have a great night, guys. The little lady hinting at a little attention."
You know what he should do is
I like that.
Maybe pour a little glass of magical penis wine, Demond, before, you know. It might work. Pour both of you guys a glass of magical penis wine.
Yeah, I mean, you know, whatever it takes.
Can I say that last year was the wrong year for the Bears to be on Hard Knocks. It should be this. It should be this year.
Yep.
You know, can you imagine?
But they have the rule that a first-year coach is automatically excluded. But you're right; it should have been this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as a TV producer, absolutely. Who is on Hard Knocks this year? I don't remember.
I don't know. Is it the Jets? I think it's the Jets.
Oh, really?
It is the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, it's the Bills. That's right. Yep, the Bills.
Now that's a good choice because you got
choice.
that, you know, Josh Allen, and this team continually disappoints in the playoffs. That's going to be really interesting.
I've got some Josh Allen video in a second, but when we talk about like free agent defensive linemen, let me know.
All right. Free agent.
Like people are saying, you know, we should draft a pass rusher and stuff. Let me see if I can find that.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Where is it? I had marked it. Yeah, there's a couple ones here. They're still scouting for an edge, you know, and then Tano Passignon went down with an injury too.
But he's back, I believe.
Is he back? Okay.
Yeah,
and then
he is back, yes.
Zadarius Smith is still out there. I've talked about him in the past just because of his familiarity of the Lions and Ben Johnson and stuff. And I'm still of the mind that I think the Bears could use. I mean, Grady Jarrett is going to make a visible difference, and Montez Sweat has upped his game. Maybe just, you know, he's healthier, but Zadarius Smith could add some punch, some juice to that pass rush. A guy that they're playing all those is a guy that has been in the news and people talking about it. Is a guy that we've talked about him joining, or the Bears trying to get it.
I'm talking about and if he want the cat, he gotta spend it. He claim he smacked this shit. No, he didn't. Can't be running around the city like we did it. Dropping salt, why you fucking up my image? Can't let him hit it, cause he trying to tell the business. Won't fuck him, won't suck him, can't kiss him. Can't let him hit it, cause he trying to tell the business. Won't fuck him, won't suck him, can't kiss him.
Do you know who that is?
Torrance. I remember him in the draft.
Christian Wilkins, who was released by the Raiders. He gave a guy a little stinky pinky there when he was at Miami. Then he was like grabbing Josh Allen's junk.
Well, and the story is that he kissed somebody on the head.
Yeah, he's an odd guy.
Yeah, well, odd guy.
That's
Let
probably
me
gave him too
just
nice.
speculate. I think he's gay.
I'm sure he is too.
Not that gay people are odd,
Right.
but hey, this is bare their souls. This is how I feel. I feel like God bless him if he's gay or whatever. I don't give a fuck. But maybe his presence in the locker room was being disruptive
They wanted
some
him out
stuff.
of there. You give me. Well, I mean, I think he was maybe. He had signed a big contract with the Raiders, right?
Right.
He was originally on the Dolphins. And signed a contract with the Raiders. The Raiders are like, he didn't last long there. They got rid of him, man. But yeah, he was like grabbing Josh Allen's junk and he gave another guy a little fondle or stinky pinky right there up his bum. But man, come on. It's like, what the hell? It's like, that's a little extracurricular activity on the field we can do without.
And I'm with everyone in the chat saying whether it's gay or not, it's just some of the stuff he's done is weird. And I don't care. Again, I don't give a fuck whatever anybody does with their body or their sexuality. I don't give a shit. Everyone be happy is all I care about.
Yeah. You see Josh Allen, he was like, what the hell, man? Get the F off of me,
And I'll talk about this on Monday. I'll forewarn Greg Gabriel, but I will talk about this. There has been a culture in the NFL that if a player is suspected of being gay, they're going to find a way not to draft you, not to sign you, and not to keep you on the team. So maybe that's going to be an interesting conversation with my buddy Greg Gabriel on Monday.
Show him that video. He might have some comments.
I'm doing it in slow motion, so one of the things about Greg, he and I could share a number of stories. I share them for Monday mostly, but Greg Gabriel, I loved sitting side by side with him watching Bears practice because number one, he's very economical with his words. He's not going to say, he will only share information with me when he thinks it's important that me as a fan who wants to learn more about the game of football should benefit from. And so that was something that I really, really fucking appreciated from him. And secondly, it was just his analysis of some of these players, and watch did you see how he dropped that hip or this or that? And it was like, a mini scouting lesson for me. And so it was fucking great.
He likes Maurice Alexander though, huh?
He does like Maurice Alexander and a number of other players on the team who are not considered.
Comments on the little JP Richardson from TCU?
Yeah,
he's supposedly been hard to cover.
Yeah, that day, Greg and I didn't talk too much about JP, but that day, from what I noticed, it was perhaps his weakest day in practice. There was just nothing phenomenal that he did. It just seems like he was a guy who had a really good practice, and the defense said, okay, let's shut this motherfucker down.
You have to see how he looks on preseason games.
Right. But I'm still intrigued by the guy because while he is not super fast, he ran a 4.53 at his pro day. He is the type of guy, he is the prototypical Tom Brady wide receiver.
Yeah, as a Wes Welker.
Exactly.
Julian Edelman. Oh, Julian Edelman was pretty fast, but
he was quicker.
Wes Welker was probably slower than Richardson.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Just had the ability to get open.
Yeah. Cliff says Greg is a pro, although I got to see the difference. Yeah. For sure, absolutely, man. I consider myself so lucky. Not only that I'm working with Zim and Tooch, but also to be able to work with Greg Gabriel and Mike North and
Danny
other
Shimon.
people, and Danny Shimon, people who have made an imprint on what's going on.
We haven't talked about the left tackle battle at all.
Should we?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, Ozzy Trapillo has looked like exactly what we thought he would look like. Jones looked better. The coaches are really talking up Amagaji. So I mean, but to me, I think it would be Ozzy Trapillo's. I mean, he's just hard to move.
Yeah.
He's the size. His technique is great for a rookie. And the kid sounds like very cerebral. He sounds like a coach. I mean, it's like, and Braxton Jones, he's out of contract. I mean, if Amagaji really plays good, like Rauscher's talked him up, but if he plays really, really well enough, could you see them maybe trading Braxton Jones? I know he's out with their teams.
Well,
they can always use a left tackle.
It's been something that Greg Gabriel mentioned as long ago as about 6 shows ago.
Yeah.
So that's 6 weeks. And he just feels that because of Braxton's contract situation and the fact that the Green Bay Packers left tackle just signed an average per year $20 million contract, the Bears are probably not going
to sign him. So why not get something for him?
And and in addition, they draft 2 left tackles in back-to-back years. So your question, a very good question, why not trade him? I think they're just waiting to make sure that one of those 2 guys, Amagaji Trapilla, is ready to play 17 games. That's all. And as soon as they're convinced, they're going to pick up the phone and say, hey, I heard you're having a problem with left tackle. By the way, I got Braxton Jones here. So I think the trade is in the works. And before the Bears line up against the Vikings on Monday night, week 1, I don't think Braxton Jones is going to be a part of this roster. Zim, you got a thought on that?
I mean, the longer this plays out, the more that's how I'm kind of agreeing.
Okay.
At first I wasn't really sure. He is the incumbent, and it's easy just to give the guy the job to the guy who's already there. So seeing it play out a little bit more, though, I think the thing that's really made it feel that way is the fact that I'm hearing more and more reports that like Karan Amagaji really is stepping his shit up. He really is looking like a much more polished player than the guy we saw start against Minnesota last year. That he's really coming into his own. He's fully ready to go from his injury that he suffered his senior year in college, that he's developing on pace the way they expected him to, and that if they do get rid of Braxton Jones, they still have multiple options at the left tackle position. So that's what's led me to kind of go down the Braxton Jones trade route, where I didn't initially give it too much credence. I know we discussed it, and I know I made some comments about I wouldn't be surprised if it happens and all that, but at the same time, I feel like it's much more likely now than it was maybe 2 or 3 months ago when they had just drafted Ozzy Trapillo.
They probably have to wait a little bit to make sure he's recovered, and other teams can be confident that his ankle is recovered. That injury happened December 22nd.
That's a big man on a repaired ankle.
So I mean, I know Kay said it doesn't make any sense. They do have Theo Benedette. Not that that's an exciting name or anything, but he is as a 4th tackle, fine. But I mean, why, if Braxton Jones is out of contract, because I could be here next year, why not get a late round pick for him?
I agree. And with Theo, the guy has a lot of promise. I mean, he is huge. And in talking to Greg Gabriel at training camp yesterday, he said some things about Theo that made me believe that this guy is better than I have given him credit to. He's the Canadian Eagle. If you saw Hard Knocks,
did you get a look at him in camp?
I frankly did not focus on him. It's difficult. There's so many freaking things going on. And I feel like an idiot sometimes. It's like, holy shit, somebody just caught a great pass and I didn't get his name. Who the fuck was that and stuff. And I wanted, but I just don't have the capability of doing that when I was younger and coached the Chicago Bears to the 85 Super Bowl.
I'm trying to think of who else they have on the roster, that is
everyone listen to me.
plays tackle, and
I'll tell you this. Oh shit. I thought I had something. Bears are still scouting for an edge. I won't be surprised if they sign someone. Yeah, you're right, Cliff.
Yeah,
they just signed someone.
Who?
Pisano.
Oh, well, Tona. Yeah, and Dennis Allen
He's
loves
played for Dennis Allen before.
Yes, and he was hurt on Tuesday's practice, but returned to practice, I think, today. So I think this guy could be a find for the Chicago Bears. And I'm not talking about, all-pro type player. I'm talking about a guy who can provide some snaps, get 6, 7, 8 sacks, do a little bit more than DeMarcus Walker did.
Yeah, they want
That's
some
what Tony
veteran play, and they're not going with Austin Booker or Dominique Robinson. But yeah, I mean that watching Robinson and Booker is going to be interesting if those guys see how much they've developed in the past season or two. Well, for Robinson the past few seasons and Booker in this offseason.
Right.
We'll get into a second. But one player we haven't talked about a lot, and I didn't even have him making the roster, is Ryan Bates, though, who apparently has been looking pretty good. He's been playing a lot. He's got that arthritic shoulder and stuff. And I think all three of us probably wrote him off, didn't think he'd be on the roster. Do you think there's still a chance the guy could make the 53? He's a quality interior veteran offensive lineman.
And I'm sorry, the name of the interior?
Ryan Bates.
Oh, I am of the belief, and I can't say that I
signed
saw
last offseason, right?
Yeah, I
Traded
can't
for
say
him,
that I
didn't they?
saw
Yeah, we-
Bates at practice and that he did great or he did terribly, but I do believe that Poles has so much value and money invested in him that it's his backup job to lose. What do you think?
That's what I was thinking too. Yep.
Yeah.
As a veteran, so yeah, I didn't have him making the roster when we initially did our, 53-man rosters and stuff. But I had Luke Newman making it over him. I just think the potential, but I mean, they could sneak Luke Newman through waivers.
Here's an interesting
but
thing.
he's a good player.
Yeah,
You know?
Luke is very
Yeah.
good. I think Greg Gabriel mentioned to me, "Did you see that?" And I go, "No." He goes, "They had Newman in at left guard on that play." Just leave it to Greg Gabriel to uncover that. I'm
watching this
looking
guy.
at 20. Yeah, he's not watching this guy exactly. Perfectly put. And so it tells me that they want to see if they can rely on Luke Newman because they know that he can play center. They know that. But can he play guard at the NFL level? That's the key, because I think they're really high on him as a potential center, backup center.
Yeah, because if you watch Michigan State versus Michigan, he held his own against Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant is a massive human being.
He's outstanding.
I forgot where he went, but I'm gonna have to watch. He was a first-round draft pick. He ended up going like middle of the first round. We had thinking the Bears could get him in the second round, but.
Yep. I'm sure somebody in the chat room will tell us where he went because they were really eyeing him. Hey, did you load this? This is the Christian Wilkins thing.
And if he want
What the fuck? It's like, that's totally different than a guy like Bayard saying.
It's on the Dolphins. Carl's got it.
Yeah.
Kenneth Grant.
That's totally different than Bayard saying.
We're trying to win the Super Bowl.
Or DeAndre Swift, excuse me. Yeah. Guy's grabbing somebody's crotch and another player thinking about Super Bowl.
Sticking his finger up a guy's bum.
Oh my God.
What the hell? He probably thinks it's hilarious, though. It's like,
he does too.
Yeah, I know he does. He's like,
that's
how
why
the other player will react.
That's why you don't like guys like that in the locker room.
Yeah.
He's the guy to put Bengay in your jockstrap and then laugh about it. And you're just like, what the fuck, dude?
He's like a perverted Chauncey Gardner Johnson. He's doing it. He's aggravated. The other players just doing it in a little different way.
He's just doing it to his own team instead of the other team.
It went off the tracks when he started doing it to his own team. Although,
you know what? I remember when there was the lingerie football team. I used to, because I'm a horny motherfucker, watch the games that were telecast, I think, on WCIU or whatever. And so I used to watch the games, and the quarterback from the Chicago team was a real hot commodity in terms of how she looked, but also she played very well. And there was one play. She had a cannon. Yes. I also think she may have had a dick. because she completed a pass to somebody and then she runs to the player. And when they're hugging, she drops her right hand down and she did what Christian Wilkins did, but differently. She was like massaging the a-hole or something like that. And I didn't think of it at the time, but I wish I would have, because I got DVR, and so it allows you to, play a rewind. But I wish I would have videotaped it, because to me, nobody in the world was talking about that, and it may have been because I was the only one to see it. But I want to share it with the world. But it's never going to happen, unfortunately.
I'm so fucking scared right now. You shut up.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, fellas, it is time for us to talk pop culture. And I asked you both to take a look at the Happy Gilmore 2 movie. It looks like Zim did not see it, but I know
I sure did.
Oh.
I told you I was gonna.
That's right. And so you kept your word. So why don't we start our reviews on Happy Gilmore 2 with Steven Zimmerman? We'll go to Tooch, and then I'll finish with my thoughts.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said you're starting with me. I thought you said you were. Well, I will say I had to watch it in two parts. I started it on Saturday late after work and fell asleep. So I had to continue it last night, but I made it all the way through. I really did enjoy it. Who knew that Haley Joel Osment was still acting, by the way? For anybody unfamiliar, that's the little kid from AI and The Sixth Sense and Pay It Forward. Like three huge movies he dropped back to back to back when he was 8 years old. And now he grew up to be like the weird guy and shit.
Exactly. He's like 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
He looks really weird.
So
I'm sorry.
No, I totally agree though. Like every time he comes up, I'm like, holy shit, it's Haley Joel Osment. Boy, he didn't age well. I mean, he makes Macaulay Culkin look like a successful child actor, like turned into a model.
You're right.
Macaulay Culkin, by the way, is in a Velvet Underground cover band these days, so that's how his
that right. Well, he's got a great career with the Succession, TV series and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I always forget that, like, he did rediscover acting. At any rate, no, the movie didn't try to be anything that it wasn't. It really was just like poking fun at itself the entire time, as well as like making a pretty legitimate commentary on like the modern sports scene and like particularly like live golf and NIL deals and things like that. And Tommy John surgery. That's the one that like I could not get out of my head through this whole thing is it felt like the whole super golfer thing was a direct connection to Tommy John surgery about like, the way that pitchers in today's Major League Baseball basically aren't pitchers until they've had Tommy John surgery. The way, and there's no way they could have known this when they were writing the film, but the way Shohei Ohtani underwent his surgery and then came out pumping fastballs about 5 miles an hour faster. So at any rate, both of Adam Sandler's daughters were in the film, which I thought was very, I don't know. I thought there was a little bit of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Nepotism in that. You're muted, Aldo. I can see your displeasure. No, I will say his daughter that played the more major role in the movie, I thought she was great. The other one, though, I was kind of like, all right, so daddy had a role for you. I see how that goes. Rob Schneider made his appearance, which was fantastic. Always love to see a Rob Schneider reference in an Adam Sandler film. It's almost like it doesn't count if Rob Schneider wasn't in it. And fun fact, Rob Schneider's son was also in the movie.
I didn't know that.
He plays one of Adam Sandler's or one of Happy Gilmore's kids. So cool. Overall, it was an enjoyable movie. It brought back all the right hits of nostalgia without taking itself too seriously and trying to be anything that it wasn't. And it hit all the right notes, I think. I've seen very mixed reviews from people, but I think the people giving it a negative review are taking it too seriously. That's just my opinion.
I gotta agree with that. To share your opinion before I go on my rant.
Well, I mean, I had low expectations, but I actually found myself enjoying it. And the cast and cameos is like it was like an endless list of people that were in the
Oh
movie.
my God, it was great.
Yeah. And I love sports movies, sports stories and stuff like that. It was formulaic, because it's the return to the star player, star golfer falls from grace and then has to come back, and it's the same thing as like he's playing for something, his family and stuff like that. So that formula is gonna always score some points. But man, if you're a fan of golf, there's plenty of like golfers and stuff, and just like some funny humor and stuff. And I mean, like that, I think the writers were stoned, but I still enjoyed it, man. I had a good time watching. I didn't think I would like it, but I got some chuckles. It's over the top, but it's goofy. But I thought it wasn't too bad,
I think the one actor that caught me most off guard was the guy who played Slims. Who was also Huel in Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. I was like, what the fuck is he doing here? He was great in that role, though. He played it so well.
I'm telling you, the casting on this thing was really
good.
special. I felt like, it was a screenplay written by Adam Sandler and somebody else. And
Tim
it was
Hurley is writing.
Tim Hurley, right. Yep. And it was by the textbook, set up the story. This is what's happened to the character. He, went on to win major tournaments, went on Saturday Night Live. They had clips from him, Adam Sandler on Saturday Night Live. They set up this big story, and then basically the premise is told to you in the first 5 minutes, which is Adam Sandler, spoiler alert, kills his wife on a tee shot. Yes, and it's a beautiful Julie Bowen, who I think there was some CG work done because she doesn't have a wrinkle on her body, and she's almost as old as I am. So that's the premise. And poor Happy then, because his wife took care of all the finances, he goes out and fucking throws away the family fortune. Can't afford for his daughter to go to ballet school in France, which is now the motivation for the rest of the movie. It's Happy Gilmore trying to win enough money so that he can become, so that he can afford to send his daughter to school.
I was laughing all the little secret things where he was stealing drinks of liquor. It was like all the different things he had liquor, all these fake like little liquor containers.
Yeah,
looked
so
like
he's got a cucumber.
It was hilarious.
He's at the grocery store. He's got a cucumber and he's drinking from it. He's got one of his trophies.
The golf
he's drinking
ball.
from it. On and
He has
on,
a little
on
golf ball.
Yeah. So it really is very funny. Some of the slapstick stuff early on, I was laughing out loud. I'm watching this movie at 11:30. I think I'm going to wake up my wife who's sleeping upstairs. I was laughing out loud at some of the stuff. Now, is it corny? Is it contrived?
Very corny.
Is it? But throw that shit out the window. You don't turn on Happy Gilmore because you want to watch some French movie that talks about the existentialism in all our lives and stuff. No, this is for fucking fun, and he does a great job of paying tribute to all of the cast members who were in the original Happy Gilmore movie and helped make that movie a huge, huge success. So I'm with you, Tooch, and I'm with you, Zim. Anybody that criticizes this movie doesn't get it. I am afraid to say doesn't get it. This is a movie about a guy who has reached stardom because of the original Happy Gilmore movie and other movies, and he's bringing his kids in for this redo. He's bringing friends in and paying tribute to people. He's doing it his way. And one last thing, it's part of this rant. I always, because I went to film school and I watched all these French movies and all this shit and so forth. I was a snob when it came to movies, and movies like slapstick movies like, Adam Sandler would do. I would never fucking watch that. You know what? I was wrong. I was stupid wrong. These movies have value in our lives because they make us, forget about all the bullshit that's going on in our life. They give you belly laughs, instinctive laughs.
Like bare their souls.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, dude. It really is true. So I was happy to watch it, and I'm happy to say that I'm no longer a snob, and I can watch a movie like Happy Gilmore 2 and really fucking enjoy it.
Yeah, man, you were like, there were so many, figures of personalities, stars, whether it was like sports, music, or TV or film entertainment people that were in this movie. I remember there was a cast of hundreds.
They got the best golfers in the world.
Yeah,
Oh my
best
god!
golfers in the world were in it.
The PGA team or whoever. I don't think they called it PGA, did they? But the pro golfers team. It was Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler.
Yep. Bryson DeChambeau, Xander
was
Schauffele.
DeChambeau in there?
Yeah,
I couldn't remember if he was in there. And then
Justin Spieth.
Yeah,
Jordan Spieth. Sorry. It was just
that was really fucking funny.
Yeah, Colin
and John
Morikawa
Daly's
was in it too.
John Daly's just his drunk buddy on the
Will
couch.
Zalatoris. There were even the older ones. Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah.
It was a ton of golf.
Can I have a half
cameos.
lemonade, half iced tea? Oh, and Arnold Palmer? No.
Arnold Palmer? No, Jack Nicklaus. He's like, I get that all the time. Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
That was great.
And
Yeah,
Travis Kelce was the waiter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It looks like he's gauging a career post football.
Yeah,
entertainment
it's funny. He had the mustache and the haircut, and I immediately was like, "Oh, this was filmed during last year's training camp," because he came out with the fucking get up.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I the other waiter in the movie who had an even bigger role because he went on to be Happy Gilmore's caddy was Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
Bad
Bunny.
The Puerto Rican rap artist.
Yep.
I do have to tell you, I didn't think that was all that funny. I mean,
liked it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I liked the caddy and his cousin.
Yeah, that was funny, but I just didn't think that Bad Bunny did anything special in the movie. And he's a fellow Puerto Rican, so I'm being very critical of one of my own, so to speak.
Yeah,
but
Christopher McDonald with his return to Happy Gilmore. He was Shooter McGavin, long time character actor.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good.
He was.
Fantastic.
He played it so well. It's almost
Shooter
like
McGavin.
he's been running an active account where he stays in character as Shooter McGavin for the last 20 years.
Yep. Darren and you guys agree Bad Bunny did well. I guess I expected a little bit more out of him because I really love his work and I think he's a talented guy. But hey, different opinions.
Really funny when he goes back to play a round of golf for the first time after like 10 years. He's playing with like 3 amateurs that were hilarious. Man, I don't even know who the actors were, but they were so funny. They were like 3 nerds who sucked at golf.
Yeah, that was
funny. They
great.
thought they were awesome. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So as part of the exposition in the movie, Sandler, Happy Gilmore, it has retired from the game, so he starts to get back into it, and so he goes like to a county golf course. He's fucking
public golf course. Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, this guy thinks he's Happy Gilmore." And that was good.
He was trying to be anonymous. It was so funny.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is weird, Tooch and Zim, that there was a lot of criticism to the movie. And I can safely say that.
I heard people say it was the worst movie I ever saw.
Yes, exactly.
Like, come on, really?
The
I can
3
think
of
way
us
worse.
like the movie, and for people to be criticizing the movie, I don't think they get what this movie was intended to do, which is to provide some silly laughs.
Looking for clicks.
Yeah, I guess. I guess. But okay, so have you guys seen or heard anything? And I always like to say heard because I know Zim Zimmerman is into the music scene in a big way. And I love to make sure that I'm always talking to my daughters about what are you hearing music wise that I should listen to? Because I don't want to, I don't have my Entertainment Weekly magazine every more. So I don't know what's going on in the present music scene. So Zim, have you heard or seen anything you want to share?
No, I mean I've got some concert tickets coming up, but that's not till the fall, so I will share any of that. I have photo passes requested for all of them, so I can share sights and sounds if that happens. But aside from that, I actually just recently started the 05 Forever short series on YouTube about the 2005 White Sox. It's put together by the organization. They got a ton of former players, guys you kind of forget about what happened to their careers after 05. You think of them on the team, but don't think of them beyond that team. Like Tadahito Iguchi or Aaron Rowand or Scott Podsednik, they got all those guys. And it's just kind of detailing and reminiscing about the 05 Sox, and the 20th anniversary of when it happened. And in addition to them kind of talking about some of the disrespect they've gotten in the fallout from it, in the sense that like certain networks seem to forget that they even won that World Series, even though it's probably the most dominant team we've seen this century in baseball.
Yeah.
Good
stuff. Yeah, where do we find that?
It's just on YouTube. If you type in 05 Forever, it's a 4-part series. They're each about like 10 to 15 minutes long. It's super accessible, super easy to watch. You can knock it out it's like 45 minutes to an hour in total. So like you can knock it out in an afternoon really easily if you just are looking for something to watch. And again, it's on YouTube, so it's free.
Very cool.
And yeah, I found it really enjoyable. I'm about halfway through it so far, and I'm looking forward to watching the rest. I was waiting until the whole thing was out to sit down and watch it. I didn't want to have to watch 10 minutes a week. So it's fully out now, and I'm enjoying it so far.
Outstanding. What do you got, Tooch?
Well, I saw a really good movie on Apple TV called Echo Valley. I had a bionic eye implanted as well, but I'm still working through that. I won't be able to wear my glasses anymore, so kind of bummed about that. But maybe I'll get some for like the computer workstation still. But
they make a great like placebo. If you're just used to wearing them. I got some non-prescription lenses.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Actually, like right here, that I wear every once in a while just because it makes me feel like the eye strain is less.
Yeah, but the movie's called Echo Valley. It stars Julianne Moore and Sydney Sweeney, who's in the news right now for the American Eagle jeans commercial she did. But boy, she's really easy on the eyes, Aldo. I wouldn't kick her out of bed. You right? Yeah, the movie's great though. Julianne Moore, man.
Hold on. I want to make sure people hear what I said, but my mic was muted.
Okay.
I love her tits.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the only reason she's famous.
She was actually really good in this, I want to say, but yeah.
No, she's a good actress.
No, I know
she's all right. She's all right.
I know. I just
she's
have
good
to
at age, into her acting skills.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Pitt wasn't a great actor when he first started out.
She's in White Lotus, which we've recently started watching, and I have heard that she's wonderful in that. So I'm excited to continue watching that.
I forget that other movie she was in, that other show she was in with Zendaya.
What
was that?
What the hell?
They're like high schoolers and stuff.
Yeah, Dan Aguirre is a big fan of it.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah, I have to catch up on it, but I just gotta say she's got great tits. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, fantastic. But she's really good. That's Julianne Moore is a woman who has a farm in I think it's like rural New Jersey, and she trains horse riders, kids and stuff. That's how she was. She's divorced from her husband, played by Kyle MacLachlan. They share a daughter, played by Sydney Sweeney, who has a substance abuse problem. She caused a lot of trouble with her abusive boyfriends and friends and dealers and stuff. And Julianne Moore gets involved in some of their crimes and troubles with and ending up there ends up being a dead body. And I don't want to give away anything because the twists are really great. throughout. It's a mystery. It's a and Julianne Moore gets taken advantage of this movie where I told Aldo, I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. Damn it, I'm pissed off. Why would she do that? But I think you're going to really enjoy it, especially the ending and stuff. There's some really clever scripting and the story writing for this one. So it's called Echo Valley. It's on it's on Apple TV right now, man. I really recommend it, man. I think you'll enjoy it. I haven't seen a good like film noir crime movie in a while, although we've been kind of jonesing for something like that. The scene of these like crime and mystery thrillers. There hasn't been a lot of good one. It's been a lot of rehash and weird movies and stuff. I forget about that movie with Demi Moore that was the Substance or something like that. That was just weird.
That was not for me. Based on your recommendation, I'm gonna as soon as the show is done, I'm gonna post it on audio podcast, and I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna wake up my wife, and I'm gonna say we're gonna watch Echo Valley.
Shit, and I think she'll really like it. It'll make you nervous though, because it's like, did you ever see the movie Blood Simple?
Oh,
the Coen brothers.
First Coen movies.
Yeah, it'll make you nervous like that, where these people get into these situations. You're like, God damn it, fuck. It's like, you're just like, you're gripping your seat and stuff, and you're like, why did you do that, or why did they do that, And Domhnall Gleeson plays like a drug dealer criminal. He's excellent. Brendan Gleeson's son. He plays a real scumbag. But yeah, you'll enjoy it. And there's another, I forget who plays Sydney Sweeney's boyfriend. And there's some others.
I want to play her boyfriend.
Sorry, Kyle MacLachlan I mentioned. There's some other characters too in this movie that you'll like. But Julianne Moore, man, she's fantastic in this. Excellent actress.
Let me ask you this question, and Zim too, and everyone in the chat. Did you see Julianne Moore in the Robert Altman movie?
Yeah. How could you miss it?
Named Shortcuts.
Yeah.
Her performance, Zim,
yeah.
If you're ever interested in talking to your kids about acting or anything like that, make sure they study the performance of Julianne Moore in Shortcuts. When she has this one scene that is just fucking unbelievable. Yeah. But make sure you watch it. By the way,
she's a natural redhead too, right?
Yes, she is. But before we get back,
I know her. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I have not seen this. Okay, never mind. Sorry. No, I do know who she is. She is a fantastic actress.
Yeah, one of our best, fantastic. I think. Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Currently one of the best female actresses out there.
Let me interrupt you quickly, and then we'll get back to the rest of your choices. D. Starren is asking us, did you ever see the Don John movie, which I think it's an autobiographical movie of my life. It's a guy who is addicted to porn.
What's the name of it?
Don John.
Don John, okay. Yep.
I did see that movie.
I've heard of
the
it.
Name of the actor?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Yes.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Outstanding actor, outstanding
he's
guy.
Fantastic.
He wrote the script. And And Scarlett
I would never
Johansson,
admit to that, though.
Scarlett Johansson. Right?
Scarlett Johansson is the girl that he's in love with, and he's trying to quit porn in order for him to further his relationship with Scarlett Johansson. And it is just a clever script with great performances. Highly recommend Don John.
Be a hard decision for me. Like, ScoJo or
well,
porn.
But
that's forget
that's
porn,
the
man.
fascinating part of the movie. That's
No, I
where
know.
it creates the psychological aspect is how how addiction is, because a lot of people don't view that as an addiction, but it truly can be for some people. I mean, anything that gives you dopamine hits like that can be an addiction.
Absolutely.
So, no, I actually haven't seen that movie in probably like
I saw it a long
years
when it first
now.
came out. Yeah, and I only saw it once. But
I was on a big movie kick when that movie came out, and it was that summer. I locked myself in my room and watched about 100 movies, most of which were Hollywood films.
Exactly, Cliffy.
Yeah, I love Cliff's comment here. Scarlett Johansson, born. Scarlett Johansson, born. Doesn't seem to be a hard
That's what I was saying. Not a hard choice for me either.
Yeah, and she plays like a New Jersey girl, so she's got all that New Jersey, Jersey Shore kind of attitude towards her, and she's fucking sexy as hell in this movie, and there's all sorts of like actuality footage from Pornhub and some of these other pornographic websites to help illustrate his character's addiction to porn. It's just very well directed, very well done with a great message and stuff. I highly recommend Don John. Absolutely. What else you got, Tooch?
Let me see. I don't think I've watched myself. So I couldn't see for a day after my surgery.
Yeah, it would make it hard to watch a movie.
Yeah, I had to wear a visor when I was sleeping too. But I was let's see, what did I watch? Not really anything. That's just it, man. Let's see. I went back and watched. It was on Pluto. I was just happened to catch it. It was a Runaway Train with John Voight and Eric Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, I think I have.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it was good. Like my wife saw me watch it and sat down and enjoyed it. Crazy 1985 movie, but it just happened to be on, and I was like sitting around. But I left it on. I was like, it was actually a pretty good movie. John Voight, crazy.
Love John Voight.
Crazy character, yeah.
I talked to you guys before about the surf guy with the Nicolas Cage movie. That
yeah,
yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. I don't know where to find it really. But...
I think it's on one of the major streaming channels, either Hulu.
Is it
or
back
Netflix.
now? Okay, it's in there.
Yeah, it's in there. So I just wanted to bring it up again because I was talking to my stepdaughter about it. That is a really good movie. Quickly, the premise is that the Nicolas Cage character is trying to reunite his wife because he's been separated, his family, because he's been separated from the wife, and the son has drawn more distant during the separation. So he's desperate now to try to build his family back, but also he's a lover of surfing, and so he wants to try to buy the house that he grew up in, where his father, right on the beach shore there, taught him how to surf.
In Australia or South Africa or Australia?
I don't remember where it is, to be frank.
It's Australia.
The problem is that beach now is patrolled by a surf gang. They don't want anybody fucking surfing. And so at the opening scene in the movie, Nicolas Cage is taking his son and saying, this is going to be great. This is where I learned how to surf and so forth. And all of a sudden, one guy hits him as he's walking by him, and a second guy hits him, and the third guy comes up and says, you're not welcome here, you fucking, whatever the Australian accent or whatever the hell it was. And that sets the movie in motion for what is, for degenerates, for three a-holes like us, we would fucking love. As the opening theme song calls us, three a-holes like us, we would fucking definitely love. So if you get a chance,
what was the name of it again? I'm going to look for it because I wanted to see it for a while.
Let me double check it, but I think it's called The Surfer. Nicholas, boy, I love this Google thing. It is so remarkable. It's like having Tooch, did you have encyclopedias at home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved reading the encyclopedia when I was a kid.
Google is like our encyclopedia nowadays. It's called The Surfer, and according to Google, it is on what service are you on? But I'm telling you, it is really, really fucking good. Nicolas Cage Surfer doesn't say where it's listed on IMDb, but it is out there somewhere. Surf Nazis, that's right, the Bear Review.
I had a couple things before we get out of here. It was like one guy, this is one of the reasons why I felt Hard Knocks would have been better this year. Case Keenum dressed as Coach Ditka.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. I mean, how fun is this guy? He's got the right attitude, huh? Coming in here with the right attitude. Really, really living his best life, getting into the Bears spirit,
And before you go on, let me just say this about Case Keenum. There's no fucking way he is going to be the backup. He's the backup quarterback. No fucking way. What I saw on camp yesterday, no. He cannot. No.
He's just there to help
Hey, he's another
develop
coach.
Caleb, another coach. But does he make the roster? I mean, can you see him cutting him loose?
He's definitely the third string, a quarterback in an emergency quarterback. I think he's going to stick around all season.
Initially, the three of us felt he would make the roster as the third QB or emergency.
I think we're still there. I think we're still there. I'm just telling you, D. Sterling is saying, how did he look? He looked fucked up.
He looked like an old man who couldn't play anymore.
He really did,
I
man.
don't know. No, another thing I got here. Look at this. I'll take a look at this, Zim.
What do you got?
These are the ages of the four of these core offensive players, man.
Yeah.
If we could grow with these guys, there's some real, like this core could really have some potential, man.
How old is Ozzy?
I don't know, he's around that age, 23.
If he's young,
22,
if he's in that range too,
he might be
that's
21.
a good 5, man.
Yeah, I don't know how old he is. I'd have to look it up. Let me see.
Ozzy, I think is 20.
He's 23.
23. Okay.
So yeah, he's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost am embarrassed to say that I wanted Ryan Post to be fired, but I think I may have been wrong. He's developed a really good roster. Now, the key is, did he hire the right head coach to develop that roster? Yeah. Certainly he didn't with Eberflus.
Most important hire he made.
Right. But I think that he did with Ben Johnson.
Yeah, it's a shame we had to suffer through Eberflus. Now we're seeing what we're getting with Ben Johnson. It's just 3 years wasted.
But at the same time,
2.5 really.
You weren't getting Ben 3 years ago, and you've got the roster in place for Ben Johnson now, where like if this really does work, like they were using the word dynasty today. And that's like, I don't want to say it's an unrealistic. I don't want to say it's not unrealistic because at this point in time, it's very unrealistic. But I like hearing that because if they really did do all of this right the way we think they did, then it could be an expectation down the line.
We're trying to win the Super Bowl.
That's right, DeAndre.
Aim for look. They keep aiming for a Super Bowl and barely making the playoffs, right? Let's aim for a dynasty and just get one Super Bowl.
I like the way you think, brother. Absolutely. All right, anything else?
There's a great nucleus there, Aldo.
Oof, I agree with you. I agree. And from what I saw at camp, I'm really hopeful, man. I hate to do it again because at the 2019 season, after we went to the playoffs and lost to the Eagles, I thought we were going to this was going to be, we're knocking on the door in 2018. And I thought in 2019, we were going to knock that door down, but I was totally wrong. And I hate to be hopeful right now, but that's where I'm at. I can't deny it. Tooch, what else you got from a pop culture standpoint?
Nothing else. I did start watching this show called Nautilus. It's
how's that?
Origin story of Captain Nemo from Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Actually kind of enjoyed it. It's got some comedy. It's got some swashbuckling. Pretty well made, decent with whatever budget they had. It looks pretty good. And the story is interesting so far. I've only watched the first 2 episodes though. But yeah, that was on AMC Plus.
Okay. I will not be getting AMC Plus.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're paying?
I have too many of these damn.
I got like a package deal of a bunch of channels and plus I have the stick. But I got like a package deal with like
what the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
Hulu and all these other channels that gave me like 3 or 4 of them with a package deal for like, $10.99 a month or something for a year. So whenever they were flashing me that deal, I jumped on it.
One of these days, I'm going to deliver an all-time rant about this whole fucking streaming shit and how difficult. I understand. I won't get into the rant now. Anyway.
Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
It would be.
No, I care too.
If you could just, maybe you're going to watch something, like a series. You don't want to subscribe every month, You know, just want to watch for a week and you pay something or a 1 month. You know, just pay for 1 month, like a cafeteria style.
Tooch,
right?
that is the secret. That is the secret. You got to manage that your streaming accounts like you manage your fantasy football teams.
Yeah, it sucks. It's stupid.
Yeah,
It's like,
I know. It's
why don't you
stupid.
just like you figure out? Let's say I got a budget of like $50 or $100 this month, and they're charging you by the minutes you watch it. You know,
Yeah.
let's just like log in and like it's like an electric meter outside. You know, you pile up a minutes on AMC Plus, and then AMC Plus bills your whatever. You know, sends you the bill, or you have your account information. And then that's all. They're only charging you by the minutes you watch. You know, I don't know. That would make more sense because then you're like, you're not always watching,
right?
You know, not every hour of the day, you know.
Well, guess
Like
what?
paying
Tooch?
a toll.
It will take Democratic legislative actions to ever see something like that,
Yeah,
because
some kind of legislative action, yeah.
because the
People are
right wing
making too much money.
Republicans won't do it anyway.
I
All
don't
right,
think
guys.
Democrats will do it either.
Well,
It's like
you-
everybody wants their money. Everybody wants money. The
You are
businesses or politicians.
So right about that. My Democratic Party has betrayed me. Anyway,
Well, I mean, look, never more than ever right now I mean, I'm convinced that like every single politician is a liar and a grifter, and they've just been, you know, robbing the taxpayers with all these programs and bullshit, fake companies and whatnot. We're so far over budget with shit. You know, just trillions of dollars have been evaporated for, you know, someone will appoint themselves as a, you know, chairman of a company and bill a whole bunch of shit and do like zero work and take a salary of $1 million. You know, and all they're in it for is their golden parachute. They've got 8 years to make a golden parachute to retire in some island paradise. They don't give a shit about the American people, and that's it. You're never going to get anything from anybody in our government. You know, you're lucky if you get, you know, a tax return.
and Tooch is right. It is Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah,
It is both
everybody.
parties.
Yep,
Absolutely.
Throughout our whole history, I think the whole grift government mafia took over after when they assassinated JFK, and it continued on through 9/11, continued on through weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and Afghanistan and all that bullshit, and all they've been in is for a golden parachute.
It's so funny, man. Like seeing the newer generation that I work with reacting to all of this stuff too, because like a few weeks ago when all the bombs got dropped on the nuclear sites in Iran, you know, they're all freaking out like, sure, I'm gonna get drafted. Oh my God, it's World War III. I'm like, dude, this is just weapons of mass destruction part 2, guys. Like we've done this. We've been did all of this fucking 25 years ago, guys. The cycle's just coming back around because that's all it is. It's just a big cyclical mess. So
yep, and charging the American taxpayer paying for it all. You know, we can't. I mean, I feel bad for my son's generation is Generation Z, and they're like they may some of them will never own a home just because of the way salary. I mean, I had a rant. I saw the other day. I saw a rant of a kid, Generation Z kid, and was like, you know, I make 3 times the minimum wage or 4 times minimum wage, and I live in my parents' basement. I can't afford to rent. I can't afford rent. If I can't afford a $2,000 a month apartment, I can't afford a mortgage. The interest rates are too high, and I feel bad for him. I think really, if you're into a part where you need a partner, whether it's your significant other, wife, or girlfriend, to just like pay a half a rent and pay a half a mortgage, and you got car payments, and it's just so hard. I told my son the other day, I'm so proud of him for living on his own. He's got a $1,400 a month studio apartment in the Chicagoland area, a $500 a month car payment, you know, on a used car, you know, plus his groceries and utilities, you know, and I'm like, you're doing it, you know. He's 26, you know, and he's on his own. He's finally realizing just how hard it is. And I told him, you know, if you want to come back to Iowa, I'd put you up until you get enough money to buy a house. You know, you could live in the guest room here or whatever. But
and
it's so hard for that generation. I don't know. Prices have interest
I do
rates,
agree to an
prices-
extent, but you know, I also hear it from my generation as well all the time, you know, as a millennial and from the generation right below me, you know, I hear it as well too from Gen Z. And I totally get it, and I totally understand it, but at the same time, there is a certain level of hardship that we need to experience, because I don't think that
for sure.
I think we're lacking a financial literacy problem.
That's a huge part
what
of
we're
it.
having. We're having a financial literacy problem. I don't think we're necessarily having a financial problem. It's the literacy behind it, of understanding where this money's going and how it's going there. You know,
Zim is 12.
I'm 32. All right. I am a
I'm
homeowner.
57. Yeah, 57.
I am a homeowner. I am a father.
Fantastic.
I am a taxpayer. I want to be very clear about that one. I am a taxpayer. All right. I pay. Please don't audit me. I don't know how that works. And that's part of this whole argument that I'm making. I don't know how
so
that
many
works.
of these kids graduate from college, they go right back to their parents' basement. Living in the parents' basement.
And
It's sad.
that is what I had to do for a year in order to save up to buy my house, unfortunately. But at the same time, a lot of people won't take that step, or they'll continue to make decisions that won't allow them to get there. Because we could have saved up to buy this house without living with my parents. However, that helped accelerate the process. And that's all I'm trying to say about it. And I understand that I had a luxury that not a lot of people did in order to take this step in my life. But again, I do feel like it's possible to get there. We've just been conditioned to believe that there's so many things that we need that we don't truly need. You don't need a $500 a month car payment. You need a $3,500 beater that's going to get you to and from work. Right. I'm trying to convince my sister-in-law of that right now, because she can't afford her $600 a month car payment. And she's living with her parents and doing all this stuff. And it's like, you fucked up by buying
It's
that
nice
thing.
to buy a new car, but I mean, new cars really have become for someone who could just pay cash up front for a new vehicle.
And that's
the rest of
absolutely
us are left buying used cars and hoping, to get enough life to outlive the loan.
Let me just jump in here, because that is a big reason why my wife and I have been able to build wealth since we got married almost 20 years ago. We both decided that we were going to keep our cars for as long as possible. My car was paid up when we got married. Her car was paid up when we got married. She kept her car for 23 years. She ran up almost 200,000 miles. Yes, there were a lot of maintenance costs in order to do that, but it was so much more beneficial for us to save money and build wealth. And the same thing with me. When I left my corporate job, I bought the company car that I was driving, and it was a great deal. And I still have that car today. Wow. I'm looking forward to the day where I trade it in for something sexy, where I can pick up teenage girls, and people can talk about me and Epstein.
That's problematic nowadays, right?
But the point is, when I offer advice to anyone trying to build wealth, that's number one. Just keep the car, man. Don't, my nephew's always calling me and saying, man, I'm having troubles. Yeah, it's fucking because you're driving a BMW that you bought a year ago and putting payments on it. So fuck you, man.
I bought a Nissan. I can afford it. You bought the top of the line Ultima. All right.
Exactly. Don't do that to yourself. Build wealth and save money. That's the key to success.
Well, and it's funny how much your mindset changes when you do it too, because like I bought this house and I used to spend all this money on just like shit. I couldn't tell you where half of my money went. And now that I've got this house, I'm like, I want my savings account to keep going up, because I want to spend so much money making this house better. Because if I make this house better, if I take $5,000 and put it into this house, the value goes up $10,000. I just doubled my money. And now I can, take out loans against, you can take out HELOCs, you can take out additional loans, you can take out home improvement loans on top of all of this, and just keep building your money. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I've unlocked some sort of scam or something, because it's so easy to build the wealth once you understand how it works. And that's why I continue to my whole point with it all is that there's a financial literacy problem, because we don't understand how to build and generate wealth. We understand how to build and generate consumers. And that's the biggest issue I see with our whole system, because I truly believe that if more of these kids started at age 15, 16, 17 working towards wealth rather than working towards stuff, they would actually be able to afford these things. They would actually be able to come out ahead in the sense that, not in the sense that they're going to buy the nicest house on the street, not in the sense that they're going to have the fancy stuff. They're going to have to dig and scrap and work for it the same way that Americans always have, but they'll be in a better position to dig and scrap and work. And it's such a fine line that we walk with this debate, because you don't want to give people stuff. You don't want them just to expect things to be given to them. But at the same time, if you don't give them some semblance of identity with the things that you're giving them, then it just continues to spiral out of control.
Well, my wife and I were talking there, and my two daughters are Generation Alpha. They're 7 and 9, and we were talking about how, like, holy shit, this AI stuff is so realistic. It's like, man, I'm afraid my daughters won't know what the fuck's real, when it comes time.
Oh my God.
And they're out there. It's like, is this, what could happen? What's their lives going to be like? Trying to just prepare them for maybe like there'll be more automation, less jobs, more robotics, plenty of AI doing everything. When people are right now are writing AI agents to whatever, answer questions online or whatever for some websites and stuff like that. They're doing freelance work like that. I looked into it. If I thought, if I ever lose my job, I thought maybe I would, find some sort of remote freelance gig. That was one of them I was looking into. It was just some AI or help desk, something like that, customer service.
Tooch, let me ask you, are we all in agreement? Are you in agreement that we need government to kind of step up their efforts to limit the power of AI? And that would include things like, if AI is going to basically crowdsource information that has been culled by reporters from the newspapers, from legitimate news sources and so forth, then the revenue that they make should be shared with those organizations, those agencies that they culled the information from. Do you agree with that?
Private citizens.
Yeah.
They're using private information and demographic information of private citizens without paying us.
Right.
So
there
should be some kind of rebate or incentive.
Well, if AI is going to take over society, where they're going to be the people who are serving our food, they're going to be the people who are doing our creative, even picking the crops. I saw some
I've
video
seen robots,
of a machine.
strawberries.
Yes, exactly. So if that's going to happen, then I hate to say this because the idea just sickens me, is that guy Andrew Yang, the guy who ran for Democratic president. He said that there should be like a $21,000 per year stipend for every American citizen.
Universal basic income.
Yes, exactly. Universal basic income. So I'd hate to see it, but if corporations are going to take over the world, then geez, how else are we going to live?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Just watch everything get $21,000 more expensive. That's the thing.
The robots may eliminate a lot of jobs. I was telling my son, you should look into repairing robotics. In the future, you might be able to get a job as a repairman. You always have that.
AI cannot do trades, just like J2K says here. Become an electrician or a welder. AI will never take away the trade.
HVAC.
Trades are becoming more valuable than ever. HVAC, Jesus. I mean, what we just went through the last week, Tooch. HVAC is more valuable than ever.
Yeah, not only that, but I mean, landscaping is even like I'm seriously battling weeds like every day, every weekend.
My God!
It's like, and when you're a homeowner, it sucks. It's just I planted. I did it wrong. Like in my front yard, we have this little area, and I really should have rented the tiller and just nuked everything. Because I was I dug up, pulled a bunch of weeds and ivy, and and then planted some daylilies and daisies and stuff in the front. And I'm like, man, now it just looks like prairie grass. It looks so bad. I'm like, I told my wife, I'm like, we'll pull the daylilies out and I'll nuke it and we'll plant some topiaries, just some boxwood or something, rosemary or boxwood. I can just go out and make some shapes and stuff, out in the front. That would look a lot cooler than what it is right now. Put some mulch down or chips. wood chips or something, stone. I don't know, but it just doesn't look good now. It's like the weeds are like, I have a weed whacker. I was out there like last weekend weed whacking here. At the end, like kind of like got exploded, got loose, and it like I lost the nut. And I went into every hardware store in Des Moines area. I can't find the fucking size. It's like a left hand screw metric. I fucking cannot find it. So I'm like, I gotta buy a new weed whacker.
I gotta tell you, I have become such a fucking snob in my old days. The idea of me cutting my lawn. Come on.
Yeah, I have a guy because I don't own a mower. I don't know. I need a riding mower. My yard is huge.
Trust me, I've been thinking about buying a riding mower for my son-in-law. You know, my daughter and him have bought a beautiful home, and they got a big yard and so forth. I don't want to pay for some service to come and mow his lawn. So I've been thinking, dude, it'll be a lot cheaper for me. It'd be a lot cheaper for me if I just bought you a machine and you did it on your own, because this guy,
I want one so bad. I'm like, I pay a guy every time he comes out. You know, I'm like paying like $150 a month.
Tooch, you should not mow the lawn. That's for guys like Zimmerman and other guys under 35 years old.
If I had a riding mower, I might not be too bad on a riding mower.
I have gone through a whole saga with my lawnmower over the last 2 weeks. It's so funny. You guys
how big's your yard? It's not that big, right? Is it huge?
My lot is about a quarter acre.
Yeah, mine's a half acre. It's like the backyard is huge. I can't mow it with a little push mower.
So my front yard takes
4 hours.
My front yard takes about 20 minutes with my push mower.
Yeah.
My backyard takes about an hour ish.
Yeah.
If I'm not stopping for breaks, Well, so what happened was,
it's been hot too.
It has been hot. I had to wait until today because it was only in the 80s.
Horrible last week.
It was only in the 80s today, so I finally got it done. But what happened was, I had my lawnmower, right, and it's an older unit. It's an old Craftsman unit, so I can still find parts really easily, but it's old, so I'm needing those parts a little more frequently than you would expect. So I'm out there a few weeks ago mowing the lawn, and I go to, push down the handle and pivot to turn. And it's a heavy unit. It's got a self-propel on it. So, I just engage it and follow it. So it's really not that bad, but it's heavy when you got to pivot it. And the fucking handle rusted, man. I went to push it down and pivot it and just went all the way down to the ground. The whole thing broke off. And I'm halfway through doing the backyard when this happens. Thank God I finished the front yard. But I
have a guy. I got a guy comes out, he's got a 0-turn riding mower, and I was like, I want one of those so bad.
They're so nice.
I could go out there and have it done in a half hour. Bip, 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 bip.
I got to go in. I got to order a new part, and I find one on eBay. So I get an order. I'm like, cool, it'll be here in a few days. No big deal. Well, it doesn't show up when it's supposed to show up. And then it doesn't show up the following week. And we live in a hot, humid area, and it's raining overnight almost every day. My yard's getting out of control. I call my father-in-law. I'm like, yo, I need something. I have to get this lawn mowed. You got to help me out. He goes, all right, I got a little push mower. I'll bring it by. So he brings it by. And this is last Monday when it was the beginning of this whole heat wave we just went through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, screw it. I'm just going to get it done because it looks ridiculous. And literally I take it off his trailer and I start it right up and I go mow the lawn. Well, this thing's so light compared to my other one that I go to pivot it and rip it around and I throw my whole back out in the process from moving in such a weird way. So now I've got a bad back. I got to mow my backyard still. The front yard looks great. I get it all done. And finally, today of all days, finally, the new handle shows up for my old mower. Finally get it put back together. And my God, that self-propeller, the light.
But you got all that rain like we had in Des Moines?
Oh, yeah. We got about 3 inches last
we got a lot, too. I mean, last night there was a heat lightning storm. It was beautiful. It was like purple and pink flashes. My daughters and I were outside watching.
Yeah.
But then it got really close and, I was like, they were like, how come there's no thunder? I was like, that's heat lightning. It was a beautiful show last night, man. It was just gorgeous. Just like poof, poof, all these lightning bolts and stuff. And then some just like flashes of light, pink, purple, blue, it was beautiful. And there were big, dark midnight blue clouds in the sky, the moon. It was beautiful, man. And we got we got a shit ton of rain overnight. Well, although you
was
guys are going to
loud
get that
here.
rain tomorrow.
Yeah, we will. Well, we had some today.
Today, we got that was last night's storm for us.
Right, we had some today. Go ahead, Zim. I want to say something, but I know you had a thought.
No, I was just looking at the rainfall for last night, just because it did come down. It was loud here last night. I stayed up late to try to make sure that my kids stayed asleep, and
so loud.
Apparently,
last night.
My kids still woke up, and I didn't notice it, and that's
my girls were waking up and stuff.
I want to address what Cliff just wrote here. It would kill me to pay someone $100 or more a month to do what I can do in a couple hours a month.
I agree.
And
Kills
Cliff,
me.
I was with you until I turned Republican and I started making money. And I started making money, and all of a sudden I was, why the fuck should I be fucking mowing the lawn? I could pay somebody else to do this. I got enough money. So
I don't. I mean, it would take me a while, and it's been so hot and sweaty, man. It's like I just walk around for 5-10 minutes outside. I'm just dripping. It was so humid. And stuff.
I was gonna do it 2 days ago, and I went outside and immediately just went right back fucking inside. I was like, I'm not mowing
it's
today.
brutal. I told my wife I'm not doing. I had some fallen branches I was going to cut up with my little chainsaw. You know, I got a hand chainsaw for just buzz stuff. You know, and it's a little mini one. I have a larger size one too for the bigger branches and stuff. But I mean, my brother was out here last week. He came out from Chicago area, and he brought one of his extra bikes. You know, because the girls have bikes now. I was like, we want to go for a ride. And Des Moines has like 1,500 miles of bike paths. And
Tons
it's
of
like,
paths
so
out
I'm
there.
like, I'm going to go out. I'm going to get out and get on the bike, do the bike pass with the car. I'm like, I last like 10 minutes. And first of all, I'm like, I haven't ridden a bike in so long. I'm like, I'm like trying to balance it and shit, you know, like, and it was like 95 and humid. I was like, told the girls, you guys are going to kill me.
If you want to get a good workout in, man, those are the best days to go biking, though. I just started riding my mountain bike again for the first time in a long time. I found a park in the Omaha area that I've been going to ride, and
nice.
I mean, you come out of it and you're disgusting. You know, you're covered in whatever from the trees and the plants and everything. Not to mention there's, feels like 1/8 of an inch of sweat just coating your entire body.
Brutal.
But man, it's such a good workout and you feel so good afterwards, man.
I had one of my buddies stopped by last night and stayed over. It was a halfway point. He was going to like Minnesota, Canada border, walleye fishing. You know, one of my high school buddies, and stopped by last night. And like, I was just finishing up working at home and stuff. So I came out and we were like, yeah, let's go downtown Des Moines. I gave him a little tour and went to this great spot to eat if either of you guys come through this way. It's called El Bait Shop, and they have like a wall of taps, like 150 of beers. Oh my God, so many beers. It's like their beer menu's like 8-page book. You know, and I was like having a hard time. Like, I finally settled on some decent beers and stuff. But they have like roasted chicken and chicken wings. And, we had some appetizers. And the other, it's attached. There's the El Bait Lounge and the High Life Lounge. And it's right by, you would love this place. It's right by Principal Park, which is where the Iowa Cubs play. So you can walk from the ballpark after the game. And there were people who would watch the Iowa play Indianapolis last night. And we're eating there last night, and had some beers and stuff. And there's a El Bait Shop, and there are 2 restaurants in one building. They're like sisters, and like the other restaurant's called the High Life Lounge, and it looks like like one of those old time dive bars or someone's basement's got like wood paneling and old neon beer signs, and all the beers that are on tap are beers that were in the 70s, like Busch and Coors and Hamm's and Budweiser, Miller Lite. That's all they serve, and then they have the menu's like blue plate specials, it's like beef stroganoff and meatloaf, liver and onions, French dip sandwich, burgers, fries, like you get in a diner. And the other side has like, the cool stuff like Mexican food and American food, roasted chicken. They had great chicken wings last. It was National Chicken Wing Day. Like pound of wings was like $15. All of us split like whatever we had, roasted chicken. And my buddy loved it. He was like, this is the best. He was like really impressed, man. Those wall of taps is impressive. Although if you ever see it, it's like 150.
I can't wait to see it.
It's great. It's like 150 wall of taps. I don't what's his name? What's David Ekval, who's always in the chat room. I'm sure he's been there. He could testify to the place. But yeah, Schlitz. They got Schlitz, Cliffy, all sorts of those. It looks like someone's basement. They got pool tables with the low hanging lights. Over the pool table. The rectangle hanging lights.
That's a W.
Yeah, they have they even have like an old little phone pay phone closet with a little sliding door, and they have like party lights inside of it and stuff. I was like, damn, I haven't seen an old pay phone in so long. It's them. I don't know if you remember. Aldo and I, if we wanted to we were out and make a call, you had to go use the pay phone. There was no cell phones. You had a quarter for the pay phone.
That's right. At that point, Tooch, where we were, cell phones were becoming very popular, and I worked for a corporation at the time, and they didn't want to buy me a cell phone, and I'm like, what the fuck? You guys are always leaving me voicemails, and I check voicemails, and I have to travel from the corporate office to the video production offices. You guys need to get me a cell phone, and it took them a year and a half to do that. But I remember those days, Tooch, when I'm driving around and I gotta look for a fucking phone booth or look for a gas station that's got phone booths and so forth. Those were, I hate to sound like a capitalist elitist, but those are fucking terrible days. Zim, you remember those days at all?
You remember payphones, Zim? You don't remember?
I did have to use payphones. I distinctly remember. So my mom has had her restaurant for pretty much my entire life. She opened it when I was like 6, and there was a 7-Eleven across the street and down a ways that we used to go to, and we'd buy slushies and Pokemon cards and whatever with the money that we just got from working at the restaurant. So we work our shift, we go over there, and they always had a payphone booth outside. And I remember one time I went out there and I used the payphone booth to call her. You're gonna talk about something I don't think my kids could figure out on their own, and I was like 7 years old and just had to figure out how to use it. And I just put the money in, and I called my mom. I said, "Mom, can I buy Pokemon cards?" And she goes, "It's your money. Buy whatever the hell you want."
That's funny, Zim. That is funny.
My kids have my mom's phones since she passed away. It's like my mom's phone and her backup phone. So it's like the one that's active is my 9-year-old has. Before I changed the ID information, I was like, I'm getting a text from my mom from beyond, but it was my 9-year-old. She's like texts and stuff. I'm at the store. Can you get me some Doritos? I'm like, okay. I was like, but then I had to change it to Alita instead of mom. But and then the 7-year-old has the old little phone, but she just uses it to play games and stuff.
That's cool. I got to tell you, we were having this conversation, I think yesterday or today, my wife and I come from a family like she did of hand-me-downs. You had a shirt. Your uncle doesn't, it's too small for the uncle now, he gives it to me. And on, whatever it was. It could be furniture, it could be clothing, it could be whatever the fuck. It could be a car. I'm going to buy a new car. So, hey, Aldo, you need a car? Yeah, fucking hey, I need a car. But now the generation is not like that. We have, because at our home here, Donna has done a fabulous job at renovating our home, and we've got new kitchen and blah, blah, blah. We got all this stuff but we've got now furniture to get rid of because we're getting new furniture. And so none of our 2 daughters want any of it. That the whole concept of hand-me-down. No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I need a sofa, but I don't want your sofa. Is it different?
They'll go to a thrift store and buy a nice couch, though. I would, but I would rather take a free couch.
Yeah, a free couch that's still nice and clean and whatever. Go ahead, Zim.
This chair behind me is a hand-me-down from my in-laws. It came with a matching sofa and love seat set.
I'm glad to hear that, Zim.
I've got a TV over there that's also a hand-me-down from them.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 end tables down here that were sort of a similar thing. A coworker was getting some new stuff, and I said I could really use some new side tables, and she said, "Here, take these," and so on and so forth. No, I don't think it's totally dead. I think it's just I think, Aldo, you've graduated into a different class now.
That's
we talk about how we have the upper class, the middle class, and the lower class, but there's divisions all within there, and I mean, congratulations to you for pulling out of it, because I mean, isn't that the dream? Isn't that the goal, to like get to that point?
Absolutely.
So
you know what, Zim, you're touching on something that I have spent a lot of time thinking about, and the whole thing with wealth and inequality and so forth. The bottom line is I am part of the 20%. And so on the big, beautiful bill, I am getting fucking tons of tax breaks and money back and so forth. I don't want it, because I want there to be some more fairness for people who are below the average income that Donna and I make. And I want the middle class, but I'm considered now in the upper class, and I certainly don't fucking feel it, but but I have to admit that, yeah, I'm probably better off than a lot of my family members and certain friends and so forth. And it just bothers me, man. But I hear what you're saying, Zim. I'm totally grateful.
Because I grew up the same way in a hand-me-down house. I mean, my tidy whities were hand-me-downs when I was a kid. Like,
oh my God.
All the way down, and I didn't have siblings. These were coming from cousins and uncles and stuff like that. My Hot Wheels collection started out as hand-me-downs and eventually grew, because we made more money as we got older. My parents did work hard and build that wealth over time, so it wasn't always that way, but it did. A lot of my childhood was full of a lot of that stuff, and now my kids are dealing with it as well, especially because my kids are a little ways apart in age, so it's easy to have the hand-me-downs readily accessible when the younger one gets a little older. That's not to say he doesn't get plenty of new stuff as well, because my God, we spoil him, and I mean, I'm just as guilty as my wife, but I like to blame her for it.
I haven't bought. I don't buy new. I don't buy new clothes for myself unless I go to like Ross or Burlington Coat Factory. Mostly thrift stores. I like
for a long time. The
finding
only
a pair of
shirts,
shirts or jersey or polo.
Exactly. The only shirts I owned, they were all either purchased at a concert, like the one I'm wearing right now, or at a sporting event. So I've grown a little older and out of that now, but like it was so cool to have my own money to be able to buy my own wardrobe, that's where all of my clothes came from. So it did teach me the value though of those new things. I still to this day really weigh my options before buying new stuff, and then I buy the thing that I think is going to last the longest. So
I gotta tell you guys, the name of the show is Bare Their Souls, and this particular episode probably exemplifies more than any other show we've done, even with my great friend and beloved friend Dan Aguirre.
I miss him so much.
I miss him too. And
I still text him at least once a week.
Please do so more often, because he loves to hear from you guys.
I always text him something.
And I will tell you that he's going to be back during the regular season. I know. As long as his schedule allows. But what I wanted to say about this particular episode really captured what Dan and I wanted to do when we first put this show together, which is to share a little bit about ourselves. And Zim and Tucci and I have, sharing a little bit about our family, sharing a little bit about our challenges, sharing a little bit about our likes and dislikes about the Chicago Bears. That's what Bare Their Souls is. It is, in my opinion, at least from how we've designed it, and Tucci's had a major role in this too, and Zim now coming on is, of course, taking on a huge role. It's about exposing ourselves, exposing our love for the Chicago Bears, our frustration with the Chicago Bears, and every other thing in our personal lives.
Memories.
And memories.
Pouring out our memories.
Right. And Dan Aguirre was famous for talking about finger fucking women at the theater and stuff. I
wonder how he feels about Christian Wilkins. We'll have to ask him.
Exactly. I can't talk about those things, at least anymore. Zim won't talk about them, even though he should. By the way, Zim, that camera that you got, which is exquisite,
Yeah, it's
the
nice.
quality of it makes me wonder if I'm talking to an AI Zim or the
We've
real.
been talking to one the whole time.
I mean, doesn't it look like it? Tooch, look at it. He looks a little AI.
Yeah, it's like a high def camera.
Oh, no shit. You think so? That's super.
I mean, I've got that aperture cranked so much to the point where like the focus blur in the background and everything is just it's very aesthetically pleasing. Yeah.
Beautiful. As one of the many reasons I'm excited about Zim being on board, because he's going to offer so much creativity from the audio and a visual standpoint of what we're offering. Guys, I can't tell you how happy I am with this particular show. This is, to me, a transformative part of the Bear Their Souls history. What we did today, with the theme song, with our discussions about the Chicago Bears, the structure of the show, I'm so fucking happy
That's
with
what
it.
it's all about. Yep.
Yeah, and those lyrics from the theme song is that we did a podcast, but we've become brothers, and that's so fucking important to me. The fact that our relationship is growing closer and closer as a result.
And it's an exciting season coming up.
Exactly, that's a big part of it.
So hopefully fans are going to tune into the show.
We'll
probably gain a lot more followers during the show. During the season.
I'll tell you this, Tooch. I'm looking at right now 563 viewers.
Wow.
Let's see. 536 of those are on X right now. 27 on YouTube. And unfortunately, 0 on Facebook. Hey, fuck you, all those Facebook people.
You'll have to put my account on there on X.
Yeah, let's do that. And Zim too. I want this distributed.
I have you can post the video on my account on X. I have the subscription.
I will definitely do that. But and to the people in the chat. Oh, sorry about that, Atuch. To the people in the chat. Please send us your thoughts about what we should do, what would you like to see more of, what would you like to see less of, because this really is a show that's been born out of crowdsourcing. Yes, Dan and I thought, the whole idea of just being authentic and sharing our souls and talking authentically about that is the primary thing, but it's also about all of us. It's about Tooch and Zim, and it's about Cliff and everyone else, D. Starin, everyone else in the chat. This is your show. It's not just ours. And man, I hate to sound a little maudlin here, but Zim, I want to give you a big hug, man. I'm really happy you're on.
In the pipeline. I mean, Barfly Tailgate should be returning soon. We'll be talking fantasy football with Fantasy Football Goon and Zim and Adam Sham, and the Barroom Draft, Fantasy Draft. That's always a lot of fun, man. That show, the 12 of us drafting, that's always a fun show. I love that. I love that one we do.
Well, I have to brag. I bring it. I am throwing jokes at everybody because fantasy drafts are about trash talking.
Yep, trash talking. There's a lot of trash talking. Some videos.
Yep, exactly.
Aldo had a bunch of stuff last year for. So if you haven't seen last year's show, tune in this year.
Absolutely, that's going to be fun, and we'll announce a date on that very, very soon. By the way, Zim is new to the show. I'm looking for the video about Zim that introduces him. This is, again, one of those other AI music tracks, but it is inspired by the actions of Steven Zim and my very simplistic input into the AI machine.
Man and the hard rock and style, undiscovered music genius. And the Chicago Bears, better Chicago Bears. Take me to Soldier Field, the only place that I feel alive. And every time I leave, a little part of me dies. Hard rockin' style of a man named Zimmerman.
Oh gosh, you know what, Zim? I gotta tell you, I've been around the house singing Zim Zimmerman, and my wife is like, "You better shut the fuck up, or I'm leaving you." But I love that track, man. It is
Some of
so
the shit,
cool.
some of the shit that this AI writes, like I've got to show you guys. It's so much fun. I've been playing with it a lot to try to, like I said, to try to really test the limits and see what it can do, and get a grip on it before I start, presenting what I'm creating. But I've definitely got at least 2 things that I'm hoping to throw at you guys soon. Like I said before, I won't be on the shows the next couple of weeks, but hopefully there's still some creativity coming from my end that you guys can share for me.
Yep.
So
I'm super excited of your
Gotten,
presence. On the
gotten a
show.
little sneak peek. I don't want to give anything away though, but it's really good.
Zim, you want to share anything with me?
Tooch has heard some of heard some of what I'm working on,
And,
and
he wanted a little feedback, and I was there for it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
It's gonna get dialed in real soon.
Let me just share it, because this show means so much to me, Bear Their Souls, because first of all, it was co-created by Dan Aguirre and myself. So it's a special feeling about this show. And I know that he would love to be here, but his schedule just doesn't allow for it right now. But I want to continue in that tradition, because that show with Dan was very special.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like the combination of Tooch and Zim and the creativity that bring, their unique personalities, what they have to offer is just going to be so much fun. I have, I worked about 8 hours prior to the show doing that open and blah, blah, blah. But all along the way, there was never a sense of, oh, God, because I'm just so excited about working with Zim and working with Tooch on this show and making it really special for Bears fans.
Yeah, for Bear Their Souls, for Bear State of Affairs, it's that all throughout the week I'm grabbing things, whether it's images and quotes or snippets of ideas or stories, and then the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, I'm starting to flesh out a story, an outline, and then finishing it up on Tuesday, Wednesday, the final version and stuff. So it like Aldo said, he was doing stuff today on the show, working hard. But yeah, it does, you got to put in some time, 4 to 8 hours, 4 to 8 hours. So
indeed,
you gotta put it in. But yeah, if you're what is it, like Bears Twitter, if you're subscribe to that, you get all the news and opinions and snippets, and
they
pictures.
do a great job. Yeah.
That's how I stay in the loop during the week. Yeah,
that's the way to do it. Hey, people are asking about when Danny Shimon is coming back. I'm going to reveal something to you guys. Danny and I have a very special relationship, because it's not only about what he offers in terms of his scouting expertise, but he has asked me to mentor him in a way that he can increase his image, increase his presence, help him get more exposure is really the word I was looking for. And so I told Danny, you need to open up your own YouTube channel. And when you're on the bar room, you can put it on your own YouTube channel, but also populate the YouTube channel with your own scouting reports, because he is an excellent coach. And scout. And like all scouts, they sometimes don't hit on their opinions 100%. Greg Gabriel certainly doesn't have 100%, and other scouts that we've seen in Chicago don't have 100%, but their opinion is important, because it helps you in your own analysis of these football players. So Danny is still going to have a big time role with the Barroom Network. He's going to be on every Tuesday night. Our lineup this season, check this out. Sundays, it is the Barfly Tailgate Show. And then also I'm hoping to have the Goon, the Fantasy Football Goon Show immediately afterwards, like we've had the last several seasons. So, Tooch, if you've got an update on that, I would welcome it right now.
As usual.
Okay, excellent. And then after that, it's of course the Bears game. Are we going to have a post game show? No, we're not. We're going to wait till Monday morning to hear Greg Gabriel's thoughts on the football game, and then on Tuesdays it'll be Buffon 55. He will be back along with Danny Shimon and Alyssa Barbieri from Bears Wire, and it's going to be I can tell you right now, it's going to be a different show from what we've seen in the past. It's going to be 90 minutes of high octane Bears information and opinion. And then on Wednesday, guess what?
Alyssa, she's been more prominent with the writing and beat reporting. So I mean, she's growing.
She's a superstar in the making. There's no doubt about it. And then, of course, on Wednesday, it is this gentleman here, and then that gentleman there, and then it's my ugly face on A Bear Their Souls. That's our coverage immediately after the game. And then on Friday, it's the Willis Twin Towers promoting the Bears game and previewing the Bears game. I do want to say this.
I think we should have weekend sports betting tips for football, too.
Awesome. Love that.
So Sean and Anthony are still, they want to do, and now Anthony lost that 9/11 job. Now he's got a regular 8 to 5 job. He's like, he loves it, man. It's like a piece of cake. He loves it. It's another different part of the local government in Florida. So he loves it. It's like,
I'm glad to hear that.
Rights and acquisitions or some kind of like permits and stuff. But he loves it. He loves it. Now he can, after work, he'll be ready to go,
Love it. And by the way, D. Starren says, great job, Tooch, on their state of affairs. You've got a real talent for that. And Cliff says
thank you so much.
That the three of us are working well together. But I also wanted to make sure that people know that on Fridays, it's the Willis Twin Towers, and Tim and Jeff are going to be joining us in the preseason area, maybe even during the season, but I want to give them some exposure because I think that the work they're doing on Friday nights leading into the Barfly Tailgate show on Sunday mornings is important for us in terms of our Bears coverage to fans. So, man, I can't tell you how happy I am and how lucky I am to be working with Zim and Tooch on Bears on Bear Their Souls.
Thank you. Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Likewise as well, Aldo. For I've been doing this with you for 7 years now.
Yes, you have.
2017. I was
your Rolex is on order.
I mean, I love it. This is like. It's a labor of love. It's my hobby. I need a creative outlet or I'll go crazy. My wife doesn't understand fully. I think she's starting to get it. I have to give my family notice that Sundays I'm going to be a little busy, but I will make time for them afterwards and stuff, for the girls and stuff. Make sure Saturdays are some bike time with the girls.
Absolutely. Zim, same thing with you, right? You gotta manage your time.
What time? I don't know, man.
He's in the restaurant business. Hours are.
Yeah, it's been rough the last few weeks. So we'll see how it goes once football season's here. I'm more concerned about just making sure I get to see the games right now. We'll see what happens. I'm also I'm working behind the scenes on some things too, so I'm probably gonna lose a lot more time. So
the bear review gave us a nice little compliment there too.
Who's
the bear review? I'd like to.
He's got a new podcast.
I think I've seen it on YouTube.
Yeah, I really want to promote what they're doing. The bear review.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few of them. Yeah,
I've seen them around. Yes.
Yeah, they're excellent work. And we're here to promote all the new podcasters and people just entering the business.
Just another year. We had him on the show. I forget his name.
Gosh, he's taking off.
He's taking off too. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, and talk about a charismatic guy who knows his stuff. He, brain cramp. I'm forgetting his first name, but nonetheless, just another year.
Is it Nick? Joe says Nick.
Yeah.
I thought his name was Jay.
No.
Okay.
Jay, that's the weird thing.
I know, just
about it.
another year, but.
Jay, that's the weird thing.
I know,
about
just
it.
another year, but.
Yes, that's the acronym for the title of the
Mhm.
show. But yeah, his name is Nick. He's actually been in my home when we did the party, Tooch, that you were here.
Okay, he was there? Yeah, that's right.
He left before you got here
Before
because you
I
got
got
here a
there.
little.
Damn, yeah.
But
And,
he's a great guy. Nick is a great guy. Absolutely.
Swifty too. Is
Another guy. I mean, there's a reason why he's got
BCP.
45,000 plus viewers. Swifty does a fantastic job. He also does it with Greg Gable and BCP, our partners. I like to consider them our cousins, Mr. Shorty and so forth. They do great work. We'll be promoting
Barlissimo
everybody.
puts out nice tape review.
Barlissimo,
like Danny Shimon, the both of them do their nice tape review.
Nomad does great.
Nomad
So
Network. Yep.
Trust me, if you've got a podcast out there talking about the Chicago Bears and you do a good job, we want to promote you, make us aware of what is going on out there. All right, let's do final thoughts for people. I will start with you, Johnny Sandu.
Actually, thank the Barflies for all the support, man. That's all I got for now. And I got to go in the office tomorrow, so I'll check it out soon. Yeah, I mean, I got half the week off next week. I got my second surgery, and then the girls are dancing at the state fair on Thursday. Wednesday, I got some doctor appointments for checkups, and then Friday, my surgery, and Saturday, Sunday recovering. So next week I'm off for like 5 days straight. It'll be nice.
Sim, what do you got going on, brother?
Well, like I said, I'll be out of town I won't be out of town, but I'll be off the air the next couple of weeks in preparation of going out of town. If you guys want a little homework, watch Weird, the Al Yankovic story. I know it's a couple of years old up by now, but it's worth a rewatch.
Daniel Radcliffe?
It is.
Right, okay.
I will be seeing Weird Al next week. I will be attending a White Sox game and a Chicago Bears training camp during.
And hook it up with Aldo?
Potentially. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. I'm trying to keep the schedule kind of open right now because we don't really know where we want to go or what we want to do yet. So I'm just trying to figure everything out. That's all.
Pencil me in with ink, bro.
I'm trying to.
So go by Aldo's house. His front stoop is not a urinal.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
That's all I ask is
Mr.
don't
Shorty.
piss on the lawn.
Right. No, it's more just about I'm gonna start solidifying plans here in the next couple of weeks now that I've got.
I understand.
Because we'll be leaving next Friday, so just trying to put it all together now. I got some family members to contact and see when they're going to be around. I got to pencil in certain activities we want to do while we're there around all of that, and then go from there. So it's more just there's so much to do and so little time to do it all, you know.
I hear you, brother.
Probably going to be focused more in the downtown area, which from what I understand, Aldo avoids at all costs these days. So.
I do, but to see you and your family, I would definitely go out of my way to do it.
And that's why I'm saying I think we can make something happen. I'm not at that point yet.
I hear you. And the same thing with Tooch. Next time you're in town or I'm up in the Iowa area, I'm going to definitely give you a call and we're going to make something happen because I'd love to see you face to face.
2 hours west of me.
Man, by the way, Tooch and I, the last time we got together, do you remember the name of the place that you took me to where all of a sudden the walls were black, the girls were wearing torn fishnet stockings? Kuma's Corner, right? That Weber Grill, right?
Burger shop, yeah.
I didn't
really
know.
Good burger.
I didn't know whether to fuck my fist or eat my cheeseburger.
It's like they play like heavy metal music, and they have the waitresses, tatted waitresses.
Oh yeah, you mentioned this place to me before.
Corner, yeah. They got a few locations in Chicago.
So, Bear Review, Cliff Victoria, everyone else in the chat. Would you be comfortable talking Chicago Bears football in a place where there's a fishnet stockings and there's Metallica just gone, playing the track?
A little hard to hear, but
D. Starren says it's a great place. So there
get
you
some
go.
good burgers, man, for sure.
The food was outstanding, but I couldn't hear a word that Dude was saying to me. So, oh, okay. Well, let's close the show. I want to just say we're at 3 hours and 37 minutes right now.
I can hear my wife upstairs. She's probably like, he's still late. Walking around. I think she might have had to get up to use the bathroom or something.
Exactly.
She's going to be like, you're still up.
I hope we're not disruptive to our families and friends, but I got to tell you, I am so happy about this episode of Bears.
I'm going to tell her to have a drink of magical penis wine.
Oh my gosh, keep that away from Zim because I sometimes wonder about that long hair. Anyway, so I just love doing this show, and the new iteration with Zim and Tooch is just fantastic. Cliff, D. Starren, Mr. Mayhem, everyone who has stuck with us. My counter says 567 viewers, 541 of them were on X, and 26 were on YouTube. Guys, come on over to the YouTube channel because that's where we could potentially make some money.
Yeah, people are watching on X or something.
Yes, and hit the like button and all that stuff. But we, as long as you're watching us, and hopefully we're entertaining you with our thoughts, opinions, and our hilarity, our juvenile delinquency thoughts about that, like Tooch, we will definitely take it. So for Zim, who you can find at Raging Bear Fan on the X machine, and for Tooch, who you can find at John Santucci VIP in caps, and myself, who you can always find on Barroom Network. We'll see you all next week. Take care, everybody.